Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Grand Island, Nebraska, the Harlan Event Center, as we get set for the first time ever. Nebraska Siege, Memphis Hound Dogs. It is the Arena League football. Happy to have you along. Join us here on your Saturday. Witnessing history here. Luke McCarr joins me. This is Josh Salmon. Luke, what's your take for tonight coming into this one?
Yeah, really interesting matchup here where you have one team in Memphis who's built all around size and some of those older guys, and then for the Siege, it's a lot of speed around the lineup, some smaller guys in there. So that's going to be the big question. Is it going to be the athleticism of the Siege or the size of the Hound Dogs that wins out at the end of the day?
Well, the league of the Arena Football League is 3 years old, but these two teams are two of three expansion teams this year for the league, and so they are all brand new on this one. We did see a practice game last week for the Nebraska Siege here at the Harlan Event Center as we get set for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads with Pastor Jonathan Gonifas of Restoration.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back for football here at the Harlan Event Center. First time ever, the Arena League football. Josh Sam and Luke McCarg along with you as we're going to talk about a couple quarterbacks here in a minute. But, Luke, you talked about it. The size of Memphis and the speed and athleticism of the Siege should be a good matchup.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. You know, Memphis really constructed their roster by trying to find athletes first. They went out and found college guys that had experience, that played a lot of D-line, linebacker type of guys, and they're just kind of finding new positions for everybody. More traditional for the Siege, where they found guys that we're playing their natural positions, but it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, the size versus the speed matchup in the end.
Well, and for this crowd, arena football is not a new thing. They've had arena football here before, but this is a little bit different. There is no kicking in this game. There'll be throw-offs. You have 7-man football, so it's going to be a learning experience for everybody in the building today, but it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of different rules. It's not regular football. It's completely different, and that's going to be a learning curve for both of these teams in their inaugural seasons, how the arena football works, because several of these players have never played arena football before, so getting used to what the pace is like and how the flow of the plays work, and that element of vertical motion is going to be huge today, Josh, where you can have a player running up towards the line of scrimmage as long as they're not passing before. And we're talking about some of the key players today. Kevin Taylor of the Memphis Hound Dogs, they call him KT Taylor, 6'4", 235, experienced player, semi-pro football. He's looking to lead this team tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good one for him. Good quarterback, and both quarterbacks being featured here today. And Memphis has a lot of guys that have just listed as athletes, so it'll be interesting to see how they line up defensively, offensively, that kind of thing. But he's going to be leading the way. There's KT. So be a fun one for you, and for us, it's going to be Holbrook. For Caleb Holbrook, he's very familiar with Arena League football. And for Holbrook, you look at this, he's been playing arena football since 2016, Luke. He joined the Bloomberg Edge, where he spent 2 seasons before joining the Duke City Gladiators and coach Bramante there. They won a championship, so he knows what to do. He's a great leader out there. Yeah,
I came over with Bracamonte, as you said, a guy who has arena football experience. That's something that the Siege prioritized in their quarterback play with both him and Lowe, bringing in guys that have played arena football. I think that's huge for a quarterback, because if you watch games in this league, it's a very important aspect to this of how to handle the pressure, and there's going to be a lot of guys coming out. You got to get the ball out quick. That's something that Holbrook's used to, and that's going to help him a lot in this game.
He also has no problem rushing. He rushed for the Duke City Gladiators 78 times for 134 yards and 14 touchdowns, so he can do it with his legs as well. Should be a good night for football. Josh Sam and Luke McCarg along with you. Happy to have you along on the broadcast here for the Arena League. If you're listening in Memphis as well or watching, how's it going for you? Big guys here on the Memphis team, and we're getting set. Going to be a throw-off here as the Siege are going to throw. Back to throw for the Siege. Going to be Songa Yates. Bounces out of bounds, and so that's where Memphis will start with the ball on the 10-yard line. Now, usually, as we mentioned, too, off the air, you and I, Luke, the quarterbacks usually don't do the throw-offs. It's usually somebody else.
Yeah, it's an interesting aspect to this game. Again, something unique to this league and arena football, those throw-offs. And now our offense is coming out. It'll be interesting to see how they attack this.
So here is the Memphis offense under quarterback Kevin Taylor. Lines up on the center. Wide right, he's got Edwards. On the left side there, he's got Johnson. Man in motion, 2-man in motion. They actually sent 3, and that's going to be an offside. You got too many, that's illegal formation. Too many guys moving.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of confusion with the snap count there, and then maybe some just jitters for these teams. But as you can see, Josh, the size by Memphis is very obvious out there. You've guys got guys playing receiver that are just behemoths.
And I know last week when the Siege hosted Nashville, or hosted Minnesota, the Minnesota guys were gassed by halftime, and Siege could have won another 2 quarters. Very good athlete, very well conditioned. Try it again, second down now. Taylor rushing in, he's going to take it himself up the lane and get nowhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Siege to get in there and make the tackle. That is number 22, that's Jaleel Holmes.
Yeah, and Jason Serta in there too. Jason Serta, the very first player signed by the Siege. Like another guy that came over with Coach Bracamonte from the Gladiators. It just shows that they prioritize linebacker there and how important that position is for him.
Holmes, a product of Morehead State back in the day. Played there 2020 to 2023. Third down now coming up here for Memphis. Back to throw against Taylor. He's got to hurry. This time he rushes, and nowhere, lost a yard. And again, getting out on that one. Nice job by Jason Serta. You talked about him. He gets right in there.
Serta again, just out there making plays for the Siege. And now we'll have a third down for Memphis.
Fourth down here. They're going to go for it.
Should be third down.
Back in their own end zone is the Taylor. Receivers to either side. Man in motion. Taylor rolls. Going to throw. It's a sprint pass. Nothing doing. There's going to be a turnover on downs. Trying to go up the middle. Somebody was supposed to zag, and they didn't. Cormonte Hamilton was the closest receiver.
Just a little bit of miscommunication there as you had 47 coming in motion over there. Mario Edwards trying to connect with him on the slant route, but just couldn't find him. And I think Taylor had the pressure in his mind, and I think that's what caused that incompletion.
So I like the defense here from I saw from the Siege early. They're rushing in. They're penetrating the line to get in there and see what they can do. Now Holbrook's turn to see what he can do on offense. They start down there on the 15-yard line.
And Josh, here you see the element of surrendering on 4th down. Now the Siege will take over at the 15.
So ball is going to be up here for Holbrook. Back to throw. Draws. He's got a man on him, but shags his defender and throws it out of bounds. Boy, a nice job for Memphis to get in there and get a hand on him. And I believe that one was Ethan Hassler.
Yeah, there you saw in the pocket, Holbrook just calm, just getting rid of that defender, but ultimately couldn't find a receiver, so he throws it away.
That's what coaches say, tackle him low, tackle him low. You try to grab a jersey, he's going to move it. 2nd down here. Nothing doing there for the Siege on that one. No score, quarter number 1. Holbrook back to throw this time, rolls right and knocked down. Great defense there for Memphis. And knocking down the ball there was Jelani Willis.
Yeah, and there you saw that element of vertical motion. As I mentioned in the pregame, they had Kevin Davis coming up towards the line, tried to beat him on the corner out, but better defense by Willis.
So now 3rd down here. Good pressure defense by the Hound Dogs as well. I love the name, both these teams expansion teams. Jumping off sides there from Memphis, we'll see. I saw Tajari and Friesen go over. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, we'll see if we get a false start and offsides here.
False start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So a little gift here early from the Memphis Hound Dogs to the Siege. See how Holbrook does it. Holbrook, we said, can do it with his legs too. He hasn't had much success in the air yet, earlier going.
Yeah, there we have the Siege backed up there with the false start. They must have flinched first. Another complicated learning curve here for the Siege, just with a snap count and that element of the vertical motion.
Holbrook back to throw. Goes to air it out. He's got a receiver and knocking it down again. That one intended for Caleb Lowe, but nice defense once again by Ladarius Leo.
Yeah, Mosey had him beat on the vertical route there, but just a little bit more air under that one from Holbrook, and that's a completed pass, but credit to the Memphis Hound Dogs defense staying with him there, and I think we'll have another surrender from the Siege.
Yeah, they're going to take a team timeout here as we talk a little bit about these teams. So we mentioned this is the 3rd year for the league, for the Arena League. These 2 teams are expansions. You also have the the Monroe Greenheads as a 3rd expansion team in this one. So we're going to go 3rd down here.
I would like a little more crowd noise, please.
11:05 left in the quarter. Crowd getting into it here in Nebraska, the Harlan Events Center, and taking it himself. Running up the middle, not doing much there was Holbrook. Actually, no, excuse me.
And there you see the first element of just a true traditional run game there where they bring Edwards in motion, hand him the ball, and just kind of use that size. And I think that's smart play by the Hound Dogs there. Didn't amount for much yards there, but ultimately I think they're going to wear down the Siege using that strategy.
Edwards from West Memphis had the ball. No score. This time to throw. It's aired out. They got it this time. It's Markleton Johnson. I thought maybe that was going to get picked off in a minute, but he just did a little loop pass. A nice job, Johnson, bringing it down. It's close to a 1st down.
Yeah, Taylor really just kind of lobbed that one out there, but a nice job by Johnson running under that one. And Siege need to have a little bit better defense on that, punching those floater balls that don't have much zip on them.
KT Taylor back to throw. This one, again, goes up the middle. It's going to take a couple guys to bring down Mario Edwards. That's a big dude. It takes about 3 or 4 Siege to get him down, and he gains about 3 on the play. He did get the 1st down, though.
Yeah, that's a big dude out there in Edwards. And
that's a big guy.
And you see a lot of guys. Hamilton, another skill guy out there that's really big. Even the quarterback, KT Taylor, has significant size.
So 1st down here. Swinging back to throw. Taylor's going to be eaten up. Dishes that one off quickly, and not ready for it was Edwards. The forwards pass, and boy, he got rid of that one before he went down. So it was good reflexes there, and Edwards just like, oh, I got the ball. He fell down, nothing he could do on that one. Good defense once again by the Siege.
KT Taylor really playing with fire on that one, just flipping it up there to Edwards. Really lucky that Edwards was there and it wasn't a Siege defender that ended up with the ball in his hands. He's got to take better care of the football.
So 1st and 10, we'll do it again. 2nd down, excuse me. There we go, 2nd and 10 now. Sorry, we're on the field here, so it's a little hard to see some stuff. Man in motion to the right. They're going to go right back up the middle. This one is dished off and making his way down the line just a little bit there. Michael Stackins from the University of Memphis, your tight end. And that should be close to another 1st down.
Yeah, really interesting play design there by Memphis. They overloaded the right side, and then the Siege just lost Stackins, who was the end man on the line of scrimmage on the left side. he just slipped out, and then they hit him with the pop pass.
Again, that's your
Siege
size. They all look like they're defensive linemen out there.
Yeah.
So it is 1st and 10. It was good for a first down. Taylor keeping himself, runs up the middle. Nothing doing from the Siege. Knocking it down. Jason Serta.
Yeah, Serta again with another tackle. He's got 3 of them already today. Really, obviously, the heart of that defense, a spark plug for this team. Getting the Siege back on track for 2nd down.
So 2nd and 10 right now. Taylor back, gets the play call. Lions sends 2 guys out to the right side, 1 on the left. Remember, the coaches are on the field, so if you're watching this for the first time, 1 coach allowed on the field per team. And a quick team timeout here. Luke, what have you liked so far for the Siege's defense? Serta, it's been the Serta show right now.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job of applying pressure to KT Taylor. He's very obviously uncomfortable back there in the pocket, but ultimately they're going to need to do a little bit better job of keeping track of defenders, and when Taylor just lobs that ball up there, they got to go get it. Be ball hawks out there.
Mario Edwards has done a nice job from Memphis, getting the ball. He's built like a defensive lineman, but he moves up the line pretty good, gets down the field. So looking to get on the board here. Still 8 minutes left in the first quarter. First time ever, the Arena League here in Nebraska. Nebraska Siege, Memphis Hound Dogs. Hound Dogs have the ball here on the 12-yard line. Man in motion is back to throw. Taylor, he airs it out, and no good. Incomplete pass intended there for Comonte Hamilton, and nice defense by the Siege. That's Keyshawn Cunningham.
Yeah, great job by Cunningham out there, giving up a lot of size to Cormonte Hamilton out there, but ultimately that fade route just a little bit too slow in developing. Cunningham all over that one. Nice no call on the PI there, going and playing the ball for Cunningham.
People in the stands there in those suites, you got to be paying attention all the time. You might become part of the game. Taylor back to throw. No, he runs it himself back up the middle. He slips, loses ground, gonna get lost on that one. Boy, he had a pretty good lane there, Luke. If he didn't slip, he might have been off to the races.
Yeah, once again, they overloaded the right-hand side with that motion, and then that time they just kept KT Taylor on the keeper, and it didn't look like he had a lane, as you said, but then ultimately nice job by the Siege rallying for the tackle.
So 4th down, receivers on either side here. Ball still in the 12-yard line going for here, Memphis. Back to throw again. Taylor's got pressure, squibs it off. No good, nothing doing there. McCurry and Johnson catches the ball, but it's going to be a turnover on down. Siege defense too much.
Man, what a play by Isaiah Nixon on that one. Nixon, one of those guys that played Division I football at the FCS level. He had 94 tackles and 13 sacks and 5 forced fumbles in 4 years at the FBS level.
And John, he read that play perfectly, Nixon did, out of Sam Houston State and Texas State. Nice linebacker there. So Holbrook will see what he can do here. Siege not successful in their first 4 downs. In the first quarter, still no score. Holbrook getting the play, he changes it at the line, sends his man in motion. That's Yates. Looking right side, gets this one off the Yates, cuts back up the middle, dodges the defender, back along the line, and goes out of bounds. A nice gain there for Yates.
And there you see just a quick hitter. I'd like to see a little bit more of that out of the Siege, just getting into these playmakers and let them slip tackles. You have Yates, Davis, a lot of these small guys under 6 foot, but they can really move, and they're going to be dynamic guys with the ball in their hands.
Talked about Holbrook having 10 years of Arena League football experience. This is not a new ride for him. This time a handoff up the middle, not able to do much. There's Elijah Gray from Southern Connecticut States.
Gray had 2,000-yard rushing seasons at the D2 level. A productive running back in college.
Yeah, in his junior year, he was Northeast 10 Conference first team all-selection, so a really good player there. We'll say his name a lot tonight. It's going to be 2nd down. Oh, they got 1st down, excuse me. Let's see. It is 1st down. Back in motion. Holbrook looks to throw up the middle, knocked down. Good defense there by Memphis. Knocking it down, getting a hand on it was Jelani Willis.
And here early you've seen the favorite 2 targets for Caleb Holbrook have been Yates and Davis. 2 of those smaller guys. Yates, a very productive player at the D2 level for Lenore Ryan, 18 touchdowns, top 10 in school history. And then Davis from Miami of Ohio, very productive running back in his career with almost 2,000 career scrimmage yards. And just really interesting to see how they've approached that. I'd like to see a couple more of those quick hitters like they had to Yates on the corner where he slipped a tackle and picked up about 5 yards. They don't need to all get it at once, but just chipping away, I think they have a lot more dynamic playmakers if they can just find more ways to get him the ball and limit those incomplete passes.
Yeah, Siege on paper has a lot more speed, but I like what you said too, just kind of nickel and dime it down the field. So let's see what they do here. First down. Gonna be a turnover on downs this time. The ball goes back to Memphis. Taylor has a man in the back. That's Johnson. Doesn't go to him. Decides to dodge a defender. No defense there. Eating up like a pit bull in a pork chop. Knocking that one down is Jaleel Holmes.
Holmes, another guy who was extremely productive in college, 224 tackles, and he had 113 all by himself his senior year at Morehead State. That's a playmaker. And early you see KT Davis really just struggling, adjusting to this Arena League pace of play and how fast the pressure gets on you.
Loss of about 5 there. Ball will be started at about the 7-yard line right here for Memphis. Got some work to do. Taylor up the middle, knocked down off. That hit actually Siege's helmet. So it was supposed to be a pass up the middle, and he didn't jock to the right.
Yeah, great play by Varian Cole right there. Very successful player. Another guy who played at the FBS level, so really good player out there. And yeah,
Gonna be,
I think maybe they missed an illegal motion call on that last one too. You had 2 guys.
3rd and 17 right now here for Memphis, trying to get something going, and they've had 2 loss of yard plays. Actually, that was an incomplete pass. Airs it out, Hail Mary down the field, wide open on the defender, kicking that one in for the touchdown. That's a really good play there by McCarry Johnson to be wide open. On the board is Memphis for 6.
Yeah, complete blown coverage there by Varian Cole. He just ran right by him. He had his back turned to him, and he just didn't see him. And then a wide open, easy pitch and catch. Varian Cole just completely lost him.
It was actually a little underthrown, but a nice job to stop, slam on the cartoon brakes there by Johnson and receive the ball. And a good job by the line this time to give Taylor time to get rid of the ball. So now you go for the extra point. There is no kicking in this league.
So McCarry Johnson with the catch. He's really the only traditional wide receiver on this roster. He was mostly a return specialist at Mississippi State, Valley State, but good play on that one.
Johnson, the motion man, trying to go up there and knocking it down. Nice defense by the Siege. Is number 21, that is Trio Jeanette.
On that ball.
So nothing doing there. It is 6-0 Memphis on the touchdown from Taylor. This one going to Johnson, and we sit 6-0.
And early you've seen just really good defense, Josh, from both teams, and that one just a complete blown coverage. Really the only mistake that you've seen from the Siege so far, and so far Memphis still waiting for that crucial mistake, but it's bound to happen eventually, and they just gotta keep working at it, and they'll find that hole in the defense, and they'll find that blown coverage. And early you just see both teams adjusting to that learning curve of arena football.
Matt Kayward out there directing his guys. Kayward, the general manager. Dominic Bramante, head coach, over on the sidelines. Both guys worked very good together at Duke City, win that championship. And I found out, too, that both guys are big Seinfeld fans, which is near and dear to my heart.
Interesting.
I tech stuff, too, Kayward, Seinfeld related. Throw off, this time goes back, receiving it there is Kevin Davis. Brings it out to the 5, to 10, the 15, to 25, the 30. He's gone, coming in front of us, touchdown, taking it back. Nice job there, Kevin Davis, for the 6.
There you see the dynamic playmaking ability from Kevin Davis. I mentioned it was just a matter of time. You get those guys in open space. They are absolutely dynamic. That's Kevin Davis. I mentioned the running back from Miami of Ohio, extremely productive in college. 809 receiving yards as a running back and over 1,000 rushing yards, 15 total touchdowns in his 5 years at Miami of Ohio. And him and Yates have been the 2 guys that Holbrook has been looking to all day. There you see, just on a kick return, finds a seam, and he's gone once he gets that crease.
Well, I like the last-minute adjustment by Matt Kayward, too, to talk to his guys and say, hey, and I think that's what set that play up. Now going to go for the extra point here. Holbrook under center. Has a man in the backfield there, and we're going to have a timeout called, I believe.
Delay of game, maybe?
Yeah, well, they are going to take a delay game here. Taking too long for the Siege. These are ones that keep coaches up at night, just those little penalties like that.
Yeah, it's just, again, that quick play clock, 20 seconds, really speeds up this pace of play. And it's something that they're going to have to adjust to. 35-second play clock on normal football. And already the play clock down inside of 10, and they don't even have all their players on the field.
Connor Bohr out there, one of the only actual Nebraska guy on this team for the Siege, number 44. Back to throw, Holbrook looking for the extra point. It's going to go to the right side, air it out, and it's overthrown. Nothing doing, jumping over the fence. There's Keon Mosey. Is he okay? That's just concrete on the other side of that wall. He is slow to get up. He's actually not up yet. There he is.
Yeah, there's Vince Young. We've been waiting to see, or Vince Brown, excuse me. We've been waiting to see them target him a little bit more. 6'6", huge frame. The only player on the Siege roster who played at the Power 5 level this last season at Missouri. And there you saw no pressure from the Hound Dogs on Holbrook there. He had all day to throw, but ultimately the route concepts didn't amount to anything.
So they're tending, excuse me, yeah, that was Brown. He tried to throw it too. So now Siege will throw it off. Looking back to throw here is Caleb Lowe, perhaps. Coming in. No, maybe not. Thought they're going to bring him in. Averian Cole will probably throw it off again. Or is it going to be Yates? Yates gets the rock. All tied at 6. Nobody's able to get the extra point here. 2:30 left in quarter number 1. Josh Sam and Luke McCards with you from the Harlan Event Center, Grand Island, Nebraska. It's been many years since they've had indoor football here. Receiving that one is Willis. Around to the right side after rolling left. Good defense there by the Siege, but a nice little run there by Willis to get him out to about the 13, 14-yard line.
Great tackle by Averian Cole there on special teams. Just tracking the inside hip, breaking down, making a clean form tackle to limit the damage on the kick return.
So KT, Kevin Taylor back out there. Try to get his offense back in. Boy, I like the play action pass they did last time. That worked. Let's see if they air that out. If they try to go short. Sends receivers to either side. One in the backfield there. Taylor, and he's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, there's the play clock just all the way down. Nice job by KT Taylor saving the delay of game. Calling the timeout.
Read the play perfectly. So, guys, we'll talk it over here. Again, 8 teams in the league. We look at the Siege schedule. Next week they'll be on the road. And they will be playing at Monroe. And then they'll be back here on the 13th for Eclair. And then off to that, then Nebraska hit the road to St. Joe, Missouri. So here we go. First down, 10 to go. Memphis trying to get the lead going into the second period. Handoff up the middle, and not able to do anything on that one. Maybe a gain of about 1. It's a tough one.
Yeah, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to tackle some of these guys for Memphis.
So, second down and 10 to go. Man in motion. Taylor sends both of them to the right side, looking to throw, airs it out, up the middle, can't hold on to it, turnover, Siege picks it up. Wow, Averian Cole grabs it and runs out of bounds. And that was a very good play by him, just to have a heads-up play. Oh, now we have some pushing and shoving going on in the field. Who's this going to go on? Could go either way.
Yeah, heads-up play by Averian Cole there. John McCall was on coverage there, and they just got tipped up. And then Cole, nice job. The old-fashioned tip drill that every high school does.
Adrian Fox
came into play there, a heads-up play, and then
Fox the first one to throw the hands.
The field.
Yeah, Adrian Fox first one to throw the hands there. So we'll see if this goes against Memphis, but boys will be boys, as my mom would say. Banana peels all over the field here. Let's see what happens on this turf field here as referees talk it over. I was here last week for the exhibition game against Minnesota. Referees did a fantastic job, I thought, in that one. Brought in some experienced referees. Obviously, third year for the league here for the Arena League football. Still talking this one over. Looking at the replay here. And it's actually kind of a push there as well. You had Michael Stacken starting in the pushing, and then Adrian Fox came over and shoved a hand as well. Both guys from Memphis. So,
yeah, this is just another element of having the wall with arena football and the proximity with the sidelines and how violent some of those collisions are at times. It's bound to spark some tempers and emotions. Important for everybody to stay and keep their cool so we don't have these situations with all the flags.
Well, and there's probably some words flying from the benches, and both benches are on that side as well. Let's see what the call is going to be here from the White Hats.
We have 2 fouls on the play. First foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 21, Nebraska. Number 21, Nebraska is ejected from the game.
Oh.
For fighting.
Wow.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 18, White, for shoving a coach. Those penalties are both dead ball, will offset. Ball will be first down at the 25-yard line.
So, interesting. So, 11 ejected from the game is number 21, which we had Jornette, but we were told he wasn't playing.
Jornet, we were told, was inactive today, so I'm not sure who that is.
And then 18 from Memphis, which I also
And
don't have
18
an
would be their quarterback, KT Davis.
So Davis, or Taylor, you mean? Kevin Taylor. Well, I didn't even see Taylor in there. Let's watch the replay here and see if.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get Stackins with a call there. He had a chokehold on a very
Dominic Bramante out there expressing his concern.
Oh, and you see in there
8. So it was Keyshawn
Cunningham. Yeah, he was the one getting into it with Fox for.
We're also talking about Fox here.
Yeah, Fox was the one who threw a punch and ended up taking the helmet off.
That's what Bramante was talking about. Fox was the one throwing punches. He should be the one ejected from Memphis. Nobody kicked out of the game for Memphis. And that's what Bramante is upset about, and rightfully so. We saw it right away first.
I mean, you saw the helmet fly off.
I think we're going to have a replay review if they get the officials.
Stackins was the one with the initial hard contact on the ball carrier. We might actually have play resuming now.
So now they're trying to talk it over. The replay guy's trying to get a hold of the referees. Holbrook says, all right, let's just play. Back to throw. Holbrook looking to air it out. Has a defender. He shies him. Goes left. Rolls right himself. Has the ball stripped and into the crowd. A nice defensive play there to get up there and knock that one down. That's Ethan Hassler to knock it out of Holbrook's hand.
You see a lot of rollouts and bootlegs in arena football just because of the nature of the pressure and everything. It's really important that siege receivers run with Holbrook there and just try to find a lane in that scramble drill, as they call it.
So this will end the first quarter here. They're going to complete the play. Time runs out. A little squib pass. That one's on the ground. The Yates are going to say he picked it up, though. Boy, I don't know. That looks like it hit the ground to me. And some more pushing and shoving, and that's the end of the first quarter. Tied at 6 here at the Harlan Events Center. Let's see if they're going to play on. They're going to put 9 seconds on the clock. Now it says 8. 5 on the play clock here. There's a glove on the field. Let's take a timeout here real quick and see what happens. Equipment on the field. Holbrook's talking some things over with the ref. He says, hey, they're in my lane. How am I supposed to run my lane?
Got a red flag on the field.
So I gave props to the officiating as we started this game, but I'm taking some bonus points away. So discussing some things over here. Getting tied at 6. Here, just wrapping
back
up.
on the football side of things, you saw another just quick hitter to Songi Yates out there like they had earlier, and they're going to challenge whether or not it was a catch.
So now they're coming over here to the replay. We'll talk if this one out was a catch. I honestly thought it hit the turf myself. We'll look at the replay. Right before he caught it, I thought it hit the turf. So we'll have to see if they rule this a catch or not. I think that's the argument here. So ball, discussing if it touched the ground or not. On the play, here is the play. Watch this one, Luke. It looks pretty low to me. Is that a catch? To me, I think it hit the turf.
I think it hit the turf.
It's probably going to get overturned. So we'll get the call here from the official.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
So it is a catch. I guess it wasn't enough to change it. Well, it was a good call by Memphis to try to challenge that.
Yeah, I thought it looked like it hit the turf, but
should be the end of the quarter. There's nothing on the clock here. The replay took us into the end of the quarter. And we will go to break here, tied 6-6. This is Arena League football, Nebraska Siege and Memphis Hound Dogs. This is Arena League football. We'll be back. Welcome back. 6-6 as our scores. We go to the second quarter here. Everybody changed sides. Siege has the ball. That's Holbrook airs it out. He gets hit as he releases the ball up there for Yates. Brings it down. Touchdown. Holbrook gets up and points at his defender. Says, oh, yeah, we got that in anyways. Nice job airing it out there, Luke, to Yates.
What a pass by Holbrook. Had a man in his face. Just got rid of it. They had a free rusher off the edge. Brown missed his assignment, but then Yates absolutely burned his defender, who was number 5 for Memphis. And nice job, that speed on the outside. It's been Yates and Davis out there split out all day. They've been doing a nice job and finally rewarded for their performance, beating Ladarius Lee out there.
Yeah, he goes to Lenore Ryan College, which I wasn't even familiar with. But he's from North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina had in 2020 had 18 touchdowns, 8th all time at the college in D2.
Yeah, over 2,000 career receiving yards. Yates, the most experienced and productive true receiver out there. Davis played running back in college, so did Mosey. And then Brown out there was also a tight end. So Yates, as far as traditional receivers, he's the best they've got.
Connor Bohr comes out now from Henderson, Nebraska, just not too far from here. About maybe 45 minutes down the. He's lined up as a tight end, and he came into this just as a defensive experience from Morningside College. But Coach Bramante, I talked to him after the game last week, the exhibition, said he was really impressed with Connor, and he lined up as tight end, played on defense. He's out there as a TE right now. So let's see what he does. Holbrook back. 6-6 our score here, second quarter.
Oh, they did not count the touchdown.
Touchdown did not count. Interesting. This one goes to Yates, cuts back up the middle. Goes from side to side, coast to coast, LA to Chicago. He's taken into the boards, and it's going to be close to about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, great play design there by the Siege, just getting a quick in-breaking route to Songi Yates and then getting lead blockers out there for him with Davis and Gray as well. Just great play design, utilizing that horizontal motion, get some momentum going, and then let Yates do his thing in the open field.
So it's going to be first down and 10. 6-6 score. Holbrook back to throw. Looks right, tries to air it out. He's got a man, overthrows his intended receiver. Nowhere close on that one, and then we're going to go to third down. Good defense by Memphis.
And they're looking back at Vince Brown. We've mentioned him a couple times, played at Colorado State and also for the Missouri Tigers for a year. 6'6", huge catch radius, but even he couldn't bring that one down.
Here he has a touchdown today. Holbrook looking back to the middle, throws it up way too high. Good vertical leap there by Yates, but not able to bring that one down.
Yeah, dangerous throw there. Yates not open at all. Holbrook's got to do a little bit better job of finding his open receivers. And it's tough in arena football with how quick the play is. You got to get the ball out like that.
And it's a play action. I mean, you're going fake. You're trying to do a quick hike and a quick play here. Third down and 10 now. Got some man in motion. Looking on that right side, Vince Brown again. That's where he's going, and way overthrown again. Holbrook 3 times airs it out.
Yeah, that time they used Brown in the vertical motion. It's usually been either Davis or Yates that they use that motion on. That time they tried to get another just fade ball to Vince Brown, but Holbrook just completely airmailing him 3 times now. Just got to give him a chance, Josh.
Yeah, putting a little bit too much mustard on it there. So fourth down, Siege going to go for it here. 6-6 our score. 4th and 10. 12:46 for halftime. Send a man in motion this time, cutting back. And that was intended, but picked off by Memphis. That was trying to go for Kevin Davis, but a nice job there by Memphis to bring that one down. And I believe that one was picked off by Latarius Lee. And it was.
Dean Clark. Oh, yep, Latarius Lee.
Holbrook all kind of out of sorts right here in the first possession of the second half, Luke. He's aired it out, and he has the wide receiver. His receiver wasn't even close. So Memphis gets the ball back here. Got a ways to down the court, but nice job by Lee to get that one back for Memphis. First and 10.
Good things happen whenever the Siege have just gotten the ball to their playmakers in space, but they just haven't been able to find a way to get them the ball enough. And that's why I keep mentioning this learning curve. That's going to be something that they pick up on as the game goes on, and they're going to find different ways to do that.
First and 10, ball on the 5-yard line. Taylor back, quarterback again. Gets it, looks to hand off, cuts up the middle himself. Quarterback can go up the lane. Couple guys bring him down. A good run there, gain of about 4 on the play.
You see Serda in there again. These linebackers, some of the most talented players on the Siege roster with Holmes and Serda and Nixon. Those are guys you don't want to mess with up the middle.
Taylor from Coldwater, Missouri. 6'4" quarterback. Gets the ball low snap, has to hurry, get rid of this one up the middle. No good, intended for McCary Johnson. Johnson has a touchdown already in this game, but not able to corral that one.
Yeah, just a sea of red bodies in there, trying to rifle the ball through there, couldn't find it.
Siege defense has been outstanding. Memphis defense has been very good as well. You need to stop here if you're the red and white. Memphis trying to get something down the line. Not able to move the ball much this possession. Taylor with the man behind him. Throws down, wide open receiver. Again, it's Johnson, and again, he's wide open. Cole, again, can't keep it on him, and that's a touchdown for Memphis.
Yeah, Varian Cole just having a rough night out there in coverage. He's made a couple great plays with securing that interception and also with another pass breakup he had earlier in the game, but ultimately he's just having a tough time against McCary and Johnson. They might have to think about switching up the matchups and putting somebody else on Johnson because he has been their most productive player.
I'm giving that a 40-yard play. Going for the extra point here. 12-6. I get that extra one in there for Memphis. Nobody's converted the PAT here tonight. Cowbells are sounding. Man in motion again is Johnson. Goes to the right side. Picked off by the Siege. Bringing it down the other way now. Songa Yates takes it all the way. That's a Siege touchdown. Wow. Overthrows it. Yates read it perfectly, Luke. Got it and ran it all the way back in for 6.
Yeah, what a job by Yates there on the pick and return for 2 points, I believe.
Oh, it is 2. I'm sorry. Yes, you're
Caught
right.
right in between the defenders and then taking it all the way back. You see the speed in the open field, but Yates, a guy, like we said, played receiver in college, and they're utilizing him on both sides of the ball. They recognize he's one of the best athletes they got. They want him on the field as much as possible, utilizing him on defense. Yeah,
Songa Yates did a nice job at Lenore Ryan College. We talked about 8th all-time at the school and 18 touchdowns. And that time showing his defensing and picks it off on special teams and runs it back. So 2 points there, running that one back. Oh, no, they put 2. Yep, there it is. So it's 12-8 still. Memphis with the lead. Cole read that one perfect. Or Yates, excuse me. Pick it off. He was the only one close enough to that ball. Taylor had pressure in his face, too. Probably didn't help. So we'll figure out who's doing the throw off here. Back to receive for Memphis is number 9. This one's going to go to Adrian Fox, who was in that little skirmish earlier. So he's going to throw it off for Memphis.
Davis has had one chance at a return and 1 touchdown, so we'll see what he can do on his second attempt.
Back to throw. Here we go. Adrian Fox, also a quarterback. That one's close to us and picking it up. Davis is going to grab it at the 5 and gets out to about the 7 before being brought down here. So ricocheted off the wall. He decided to grab it, take it, and got a little bit of yards on that one.
Yeah, dangerous play there, trying to field it off the wall. That could have been disastrous for us.
Good sportsmanship this time by Fox to get up and make sure the other guys on the other team are fine as well. So Holbrook got some work to do. Luke, it didn't look like Holbrook last time out.
Yeah, Holbrook and Davis have both just struggled a little bit adjusting to this Arena League pace of play and how quickly you have to get the ball out.
Davis man in motion. He's going to look that way. Davis does catch it, brings it up to about the 15, brought back to about the 10, and maybe a gain of about 2 on that one. Nice job defense there by the Memphis Hound Dogs.
Yeah, and I keep on saying it, those quick hitters are really good for the Siege. Just picking up 5 at a time, they're getting themselves into trouble with just all of the incomplete passes. Very low completion percentage for Holbrook right now. They need to do a better job of continually just finding those short yards when they can.
Mosey in motion. Holbrook fakes it, back up the middle, tipped up, and it's anybody's ball. Memphis brings it down. Not an advised throw there by Holbrook. Got a hand on it was Friesen, and then picked off by Memphis. And again, that was Lee getting his hands on that one as well after the tip.
He just threw it straight to a Memphis defender. in the pass lane. That was Tajarian Freisen that tipped it up, and then nice job again, the tip drill like I mentioned earlier. Darius Lee getting hands on that one, but Holbrook's got to do a much better job at the quarterback position for the Siege.
Yeah, he just
to come back in this one.
He just kind of seems out of sort. The first down in the second half, he had 3 out, threw him way over. Did the pickoff, that time gets picked off, so now it's Memphis ball. They lead 12-8, trying to get some more on for halftime. Plenty of time for the Siege to do something. Taylor takes himself, and he is sacked, brought down. Nice tackle there for the Siege. That is Isaiah Nixon.
Yeah, those 3 linebackers have been all over the stat sheet today. Nixon, Holmes, and Serda asserting their dominance on that side of the ball for the Siege. A quick sack for Nixon.
Isaiah Nixon had 94 total tackles with 63 solos between Sam Houston State and Texas State. Taylor runs with it from Memphis. Back up, not able to do anything on that one at all. And a good Siege defense. This is the defense we saw in the first half here, Luke, for the Siege. Nebraska coming back and playing that way.
And I hope all the kids in the stands are watching Jason Serda tackle, because it is absolutely textbook. Tackling low on these big guys, sawing them off, not allowing any extra room.
Kevin Taylor trying to get something going here for the Siege. Third down, 14 to go. Got a ways. Shads one defender. Dang, him past that one. Good defense there that time. And brought down. And Taylor is slow to get up. Holmes on the tackle. No, he actually had. So he made the play here. 21 made the play. Simons had the play. So they changed some roster numbers on us, folks. We apologize. Trying to figure this out ourselves. Simons had a couple good plays tonight. That was a big tackle for loss, and Taylor was very slow to get up.
Yeah, Simon's a guy who played defensive back in college, but was one of those down in the box safeties. 109 tackles and 11 forced fumbles in 3 years at the D2 level.
There was a game yesterday in the Arena League.
Yeah, the St. Joe Goats took on the Arkansas Diamonds in the opener. It was dominance by the Goats, winning 40-14, and early on it was all the Diamonds, but then the Goats really did a nice job of adjusting as the game went on into the second, third, fourth quarter, and ended up running away with it. So the Goats got the first win of the season for the Arena League. Arkansas Diamonds will.
I think they're discussing the down here, which down it is.
And you see a switch at the quarterback position with Lowe out there now instead of Holbrook.
Yeah, I saw Lowe last week during the scrimmage. Did a nice job, and it's just something's going on with Holbrook in the begin the second quarter.
Yeah, he's having a tough time out there. I only have him down for 3 completions, and he's also thrown 2 interceptions.
Caleb Lowe from Frisco, Texas, played for the IFL Wranglers in Northern Arizona. 33 completions on that one, 62.
4th down surrender, first down 15 yards.
4th down surrendered. Anyway, so he averaged 81 yards a game, 324 total yards with the Wranglers of the IFL. So Lowe back under quarterback now.
Not out there for the Siege, and Mosey instead.
Mosey man in motion. Caleb gets rid of that one quickly. Lowe airs it out, and Mosey can't quite come down with it. Boy, good pressure applied by Memphis as well. Coming in like a freight train for Memphis was Ethan Hassler. Wow.
And nice job by Lowe. Gave his receiver a chance, but ultimately under the pressure couldn't quite get it to Mosey. Mosey had a chance to catch that ball, but it was a difficult play to make.
Mosey perhaps one of the smaller guys on the field, but not afraid of anybody. So again, Lowe trying to air it out. He's got a great yard, great arm. This is a short pass, goes to Davis this time, rolls to the right side, and maybe a gain of about 3 on that one as the Hound Dogs all over it.
And I like the play call, which is a quick hitter, getting 2 lead blockers out there with Mosey and Gray, letting Davis try to make a play in space. Not a huge pickup, but it makes 3rd down a lot easier.
With the 12-8 scored, about 5 minutes till halftime, I like what Coach Bramante is using, a couple different guys out there, giving your guys some breathers. It's only the first game of the year. Again, Lowe, under center, gets it. This time hacks off to Isaiah Gray. We kind of talked about him in the pregame. Scrambles for an extra couple yards. Gray, a very nice college football player.
Yeah, very successful at the D2 level. Had some very good seasons, and nice job getting them to a 3rd and short position. Will be interesting to see how they go about this. I mentioned they have 2 chances to get this as well.
Isaiah Gray was kind of the guy, one of the guys I was going to watch in this game. Lowe takes it himself back up the middle and going for the first down. I think he's going to be close. Siege fans thinks he's got it. Memphis says no. It's hard to tell from where we're at. It is first down. Nice job. I like Caleb taking that one himself. So a nice job there by Caleb Lowe. Huntington College. I'd never heard of that. I had to look it up. So both quarterbacks named Caleb. Caleb Holbrook started this one. Caleb Lowe with an K is out there right now. Down by 4:35. We had a little bit of motion, but no whistles there. All kinds of time here for Lowe. Goes back up the middle. Intended for Bohr. That's picked off. They go to the tight end, and a good defense there. And guess who this time? You can say it. Yeah, Hassler's been there. He has literally been a hound dog in a pork chop today.
Yeah, that one was all on Bohr. Hit him right in the hands. He just couldn't hang on to it. And as we mentioned, he was a defensive player in college, new to this tight end position, and that one hit him right in the hands. He just couldn't make it. But a nice tackle by Elijah Gray on the return.
So it's kind of been a tale of two different quarters for me. Siege kind of felt, I mean, even though it was tied, it felt like defensively they kind of had the advantage in the first quarter. Second quarter right now, the momentum is all on the Hound Dogs.
Yeah, really, it's just been two blown coverages by Varian Cole that have been the difference in this one. Memphis has not really got much rhythm going on offense, but two just big plays. Credit KT Taylor making big-time throws to McCary and Johnson. Johnson been a key playmaker for Memphis, and then the Siege have put together a few longer drives, but the turnovers have been bad. 3 interceptions already in this one. You're not going to win any games with 3 interceptions in one half.
You have 2 touchdowns, both by Johnson for Memphis. Just the one by Brown for the Siege. And a timeout call here. Bermonte wanted to talk some things over.
And we mentioned Ethan Hassler for the Memphis Hound Dogs. He's the #1 guy defensively I had to look out for. He just finished up his last season at Arkansas State. He had 104 tackles and 11 and a half sacks in his 4 years, and he had 8 sacks by himself in his senior year.
So, Siege on defense now. Taylor back out there after the quick timeout. Trying to pad this lead going into halftime. Back to throw, Taylor airs it out and way too hard. McCall on the defense trying to go to Fox there. Not able to corral that one.
Yeah, great job by McCall. He was playing with a cushion on the motion. He was playing about 10 yards off, and then a good no call by the officials with a little bit of contact at the top of the route, but not enough to warrant a flag.
Jihad McCall, Eastern Illinois University. Taylor second down. Gonna get it going here. Back to throw, slips a little bit. We've seen him a couple times. 6'4" guy, takes it himself. He does a nice job at quarterback, pushing that way forward and trying to get close to that first down, but not going to be too shy of that, but a good run nonetheless. Give him about 7 yards.
Yeah, and you see there another run by KT Taylor. He hasn't been super successful on the ground. It's been a really good job by the Siege linebackers containing him, but that one he did a nice job of running behind his pads and pushing the pile for a few extra yards.
The ball on the 10 here. Taylor looking to get in the end zone one more time before half. Got 2:44 on the clock. Got some time to do it. And there's going to be stoppage of play. We have a flag in the play. It's going to be.
I don't think the ball ever got snapped. It's going to be a false start on the
Yep, I think it's going to be going against Memphis. So they get some yards and then they give it back. Those are little plays like that, Luke, that just cost you sometimes in a game. I know they're up by 4, but
that was just the center. The ball slipped out of his hand. That was all that happened.
It's very hot in here. We'll tell you that at the Harlan Event Center in Grand Island, Nebraska. Center does get the ball. Gets this one back to Taylor. It's a low snap once again. Taylor has plenty of time to air it out and tries to get to his defense. Almost picked off by the Siege.
Yeah, and we've been all over a Varian Cole with a couple blown coverage, but that one was just perfect coverage on the comeback route for Johnson. They were looking at him all the way. It was one-on-one coverage on the outside, and a Varian Cole stepped up to the challenge.
So now we're going 4th down and 9. See if Taylor keeps it. He hasn't had much room throwing it. Johnson again on Cole covering Johnson on the near side. And there's going to be a timeout called here. See what the officials are. So a 2-minute warning as Nebraska trailing by 4 here. You have a couple of touchdowns by the Siege, or by Memphis, excuse me, and both of them coming tonight by Macarian Johnson of Mississippi Valley. He was a kick returner in 2017, so obviously doing tonight as a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job out there for Memphis. As I mentioned earlier, he's their only true wide receiver, and he's done a nice job.
Okay. Yep, we'll take a break and come back. You're listening to Arena League Football. We'll be right back from the Harlan Event Center. Welcome back to Harlan Event Center, Grand Island, Nebraska. As we have 2-minute timeouts here in the first half. It's 12-8. It's been Memphis rolling here. And as I say that, Taylor almost gets it, gives a shovel pass, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Boy, intended again, trying to go to Mario Edwards. We haven't seen Edwards' names in the first quarter, Luke, but Edwards couldn't come up with that one.
Yeah. Once again, looking for him, and once again you saw KT Davis just shoveling out of a situation to avoid a sack. That time he did have an open receiver, but nice play to just live to see another down, but they are going to turn it over on downs, it looks like.
So Siege getting the ball back here, and again, it's going to be Caleb Lowe out there as quarterback.
And overall, I liked what I saw from Lowe on his first drive. Interception really not on him. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Holbrook was just not firing on all cylinders in that beginning of this quarter. So we'll see what Lowe can do. Trying to get in, down by 4. Pass out intended. Nice job there by Isaiah Gray. And a good job. That's going to be a first down. Move the chains, Isaiah Gray.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing from Caleb Lowe, though we weren't really seeing from Holbrook. Content to just take down the check down to Elijah Gray there. Wide open, and just letting him pick up the first down. Doesn't need to be a home run every play.
Rolls again, and this one intended for Mosey, and he was knocked down. So back to Elijah Gray here from Southern Connecticut University. Had career 2,124 yards, 15 touchdowns in 2 years at the D2 level. 2 1,000-yard seasons. A really nice player. Lots of accolades for him, including posted 4 straight 100-yard games, 4 touchdowns with the Owls in his last 4 games of the season in college. First down, rolling around to the right side. That is Davis. We just talked about him. He's into the end zone. Is he close? Yes, he's in for the touchdown. A big run there on the sweep right for Isaiah Davis. Give me Elijah Gray.
Yeah, Elijah Gray just took that sweep and ran with it, found the open seam, and really nice blocking on the outside by Davis there, sealing the edge for Elijah Gray. He's got to give his blocker some love on that one. They did a really nice job taking the edge off there.
And I will give him about 8.5 on the dance, too. I think that's it. Did you ever dance when you scored a touchdown, Luke?
No.
You're pretty modest, so. Low back for the extra point. Nobody's converted one yet tonight, and that will remain as Mosey can't hold on to that one. So it's now a 2-point lead here for the Siege, 14-12.
Yeah, Lowe gave his receiver a chance on that one, and you've seen 2 differing defensive strategies. It's been heavy pressure for the Siege most of the night. Hound Dogs have been a little bit more content just to drop back in coverage and let the quarterbacks try to find something. And it's worked pretty successfully for both teams. Really just a couple big plays that have been the difference in this one.
I like the quick offense there. The Siege knew they didn't have much time to get in the end zone and got a couple quick plays down to Gray, got him in. So very quick, good use of time here by Nebraska Siege.
Yeah, and that's a big difference since Lowe's come in. He's been content to take a few just short throws, and it's really softened up the Memphis defense, got them a little bit more uptight, put them in easier situations. It's tough to succeed as an offense when you're constantly in 3rd and long situations, and that's was the case for the Siege in the first quarter.
So back to receive here for Memphis is going to be Jelani Willis, Texas State and Western Michigan. Throwing off, of course, is Yates.
Now, Josh, I'm surprised that they don't have McCarrion Johnson returning the kicks. As we knew, he was a successful kick returner in college from Mississippi Valley State.
Well, this Memphis team has had a lot of guys listed as athletes, as we said, and we weren't really sure how they're going to be utilized. So it's kind of new to us, and maybe for Nebraska too. And maybe you do that on purpose. It's hard to scout a team when you know how guys are going to be used.
Yeah, and you have guys that just look out of place. You've got defensive linemen that very clearly look like defensive linemen, and they're out here playing tight end, they're out here playing wide receiver, they're playing running back, and it's just interesting to see how they've moved everybody around.
So Taylor talking over to Mario Edwards. They really haven't utilized him much in the second quarter. You haven't need to because they've been aired out to Johnson, but let's see if they get it back on the ground and use Edwards' size, as he was very successful in the first quarter.
Yeah, and credit Coach Bracamonte. He's had a lot of faith in a Varian Cole on the outside to stick with McCarrion Johnson. He's saying, this is our best coverage guy. We're going to stick behind him. And the track record shows it. Varian Cole, a very accomplished corner in college with App State and Western Kentucky, 48 tackles, 4 PBUs, and 1 interception in his last 2 years of college football. He's, had a little bit of a rough time at it tonight, but he's adjusted well, made some good plays to go along with that, and I think as the season goes on, he'll continue to become more successful.
Matthew Kayward showed right there on your screen, the general manager and one of the assistant coaches, also a former quarterback himself, knows this indoor football league. Him and Bramante teamed up together to coach the Gladiators to a championship. So both guys brought this team in. As soon as Kayward said, hey, he's the general manager, he says, I know exactly who I want. You had Coach Dominic Bramante, who has done some coaching stuff with John Harbaugh. They're very good friends. I ran some camps for him. So a good coaching staff here for the Siege. That's an interesting call
to see for the Siege. Since I believe Cunningham got ejected from the game, they moved Songa Yates to play on the other side of the ball. Yates has been corner opposite of Varian Cole, and they haven't utilized him on offense really since Cunningham was ejected. So they must have been working him a lot of defensive back this week as a backup in case a situation like this happened, and they've gone to Mosey on the offensive side. But I'd like to see them maybe get back to using Yates a little bit on offense because he did a nice job out there.
Yeah, there was a couple times we couldn't corral it, but I do like Caleb out there low as the quarterback's done a nice job, and nothing against Holbrook. He just didn't look like himself in the second quarter. I would say we'll probably see Holbrook at some point again in this game. Right now, Hayward out to discuss with the officials, but they said illegal line against Nebraska Siege. So they're talking some things over here. Memphis getting an explanation as well. And the officials talking some things over. So, Luke, again, the Siege next week will be on the road. They're going to be taking on Monroe, the other new team in the league this year. And then back here to the Heartland Events Center on June 13th for Eclair coming in. So, it should be a good one. 7:05 start on that one. It's a very warm facility here at the Heartland Events Center tonight. I think there's some air conditioning issues, and so it makes it an interesting atmosphere. Great crowd here tonight, but it's pretty warm.
Yeah, really, really fun atmosphere at the Heartland Events Center. I remember when I was a kid coming to watch the Nebraska Danger in this arena at the Heartland Events Center. They played in the IFL for 9 years before they ultimately lost their team, but it was just a great experience as a kid coming to those games. And, as a young person, you don't really know the difference between arena football and big football. It's all the same to you, and I hope that a lot of the kids here in the stands get to have that same kind of experience I did with the Danger.
Nebraska Danger played in the IFL from 2011 to 2019, and locally owned here. And that was the end of the season for them, but it always drew good crowds, so hopefully the Siege will do the same thing here. Same thing for Memphis, a brand new team there in Nashville as well. Tennessee, I should say, Memphis.
Minute 20, it'll be a long ways to go for.
There's a lot of explanation here going on in the first game of the year as White Hat makes his way back. So 14-12 here. Siege trying to stop on defense and take the 2-point lead into the halftime after trailing most of the second quarter. They do give it to Edwards, tries to run up the middle. Nothing doing. They dropped the ball, but I think he's going to say he was down. Edwards very slow to get up, and he's favoring that right ankle. That's not good, Luke.
Yeah, I think oh yeah, and Serta just came through completely unblocked on that play. And a nice job again. As I mentioned earlier, Serta absolutely perfect form tackling, sawing off low on these big guys, and they have not had any answer to that. And that's just a credit to Serta, knowing his fundamentals and just being an absolute missile out there.
We're hoping Edwards is okay. He's been very successful as a running back here, but Serta just took him out the leg. Clearly he's a lot bigger than Serta, so Serta said, okay, the best chance I'm going to have is taking him out at the shins. And he did. I mean, it was a legal hit, but that just happens sometimes in football. And very slow there as the trainer works on him on that one. But we look at the scoring here again for the Siege. They broke out first. Vince Brown with the touchdown to make it 6-0, but answering right back very shortly after was Memphis. They had Johnson, and that was one of two tonight for Johnson. He got McCary and Johnson had the second touchdown at the beginning of the second quarter, but Gray coming back, Elijah Gray, with less than 2 minutes, or a little over 2 minutes left in the game, in the half, I should say, and to make it a 14-12 lead. Okay, we're going to take a break and come back as they tend to the player on the field. That is number 47 there, and we'll be right back. That's Mario Edwards. You're listening to Arena League Football. Take a break and come back. Back to football here at the Harlan Event Center, Grand Island, Nebraska. It's 14-12. Siege playing defense, trying to stop this Memphis offense with 1:10 left on the clock. Taylor looking to air it out. It's a long throw, going to be well overthrown by everybody. About 5 yards ahead of a Siege defender, about 10 yards ahead of his intended receiver on Fox.
And once again, you had a Varian Cole and having nice coverage on McCary and Johnson up at the top of the screen. But I think KT Davis missed an open receiver on the other side where he had Fox running that dig route opposite, and he was open, but ultimately he had eyes only for McCary and Johnson on the deep ball.
Coming to halftime a little bit, so we'll take a look at some stats and some more stuff from around the league as we'll send it back to them and talk about some of the other games going on in Arena League. So we're going to go second down here and 10 to go. Long ways to go here for Memphis, trying to get the lead before we go to half. Taylor back, got some time, Airs it out to end over end. That's just a dead duck throw. Pressure came in lately. He had time to get rid of that one, just not a good throw.
Yeah, interesting coverage. They had more of a pattern read going on where you had a reroute by the slot corner, who was McCall, and then they ended up passing off the route, so it was a nice job executing that coverage for the Siege.
So going to be Siege football coming back this way. See what they can do now.
Now they just have a minute, so they have to remember that when they're getting their play calls in and running the tempo. They do have all 3 timeouts available, so plenty of time to get this ball in the end zone.
If you're Caleb Lowe, Luke, do you go to Brown? Do you look to Brown? Do you look to Yates? I think you're going to go Brown this time.
Yeah, they have only targeted him 3 times, and all 3 he was airmailed by Holbrook, but ultimately Davis and Yates have been really good out there on the outside. I think he'll keep going to them.
Got time to throw, then he has to dish it off quickly, and does give that one over to Elijah Gray, who managed to get a couple yards out of it. That wasn't the way they drew it up, but a nice job by Gray to say, hey, I'm open, and for Lowe to see him.
And once again, you see Lowe just completely calm and collected, seeing and going through his progressions, looking at his out to receivers first, and then dumping it off to Gray when he gets pressure.
Yates, the man in motion, cuts up the middle. Let's see if he's the intended receiver. He is, airs it out. His flag on the play. This might be offensive holding. We'll see what happens here. This one could be going against the red and white. Flag was thrown right at the beginning.
Yeah, Yates completely burned his defender there. Lowe just saw him too late. Lowe had a free touchdown if he got that ball out just a little bit quicker.
So this one going against Memphis. Legal formation, so a free 5 yards there. And so now that'll give the Siege back the ball. And here they go. Caleb Lowe sweeps it around this time to up the middle. He gives that one to Gray again. So working it down the field, Elijah Gray already has a touchdown in this one.
Yeah, as his utilization has gone up, the Siege offensive productivity has gone up. I would expect them to keep going to him as the game goes on.
Back to throw. Lowe has an intended receiver. Nope, can't get that one in, and trying to go to Keon Mosey.
Yeah, good coverage on both sides there for the Hound Dogs. You had Ladarius Lee out there who's been good all day, and then good coverage on the other side as well.
Caleb Lowe directing his offense the way he wants it. Nice job the offensive line, too. They're giving him time to get rid of the ball. Everything's so fast-paced here in the Arena League. You've got quick time to get rid of it. So
quietly,
Lowe,
there's just 8 seconds left, so they probably only have 2 more plays at this touchdown.
Lowe rolls left, and his defender overshoots him. A nice defense there by Memphis, and this time it's...
Once again, Kevin Davis was open. A little bit better of a throw by Lowe, keeping it low, actually, and finding him in the corner of the end zone, but ultimately just errant throw. He had to fit it into a small window and just didn't get it there.
So you got 4 seconds left on the clock. Here is what it shows on the scoreboard. Lowe going to try to get the play off. Has defense, airs it out. This could be anybody's ball. Mosey intended, can't bring it down. Boy, that's up for grabs right there. Nobody able to come up with it. Nice defense by the Hound Dogs again. And that should be halftime, folks. We go to break at halftime with Nebraska Siege pulling out the touchdown and about midway through the second quarter here, and they lead 14-12. It is the Arena League football. We'll come back here in a little bit and take a look at some numbers as everybody's celebrating the first game ever between these 2 teams in this league. And there's been some fun offense and some fun plays. Lots of touchdowns. Johnson's had a couple. Yates had one. Gray had one for Siege. From the Harlan Event Center, we'll come back. Welcome back to Heartland Event Center. Josh Sam and Luke McCarg with you as Nebraska Siege have the league 14-12 here at the Heartland Event Center. Very first team game for either one of these squads. Luke, there's been a lot of back and forth. We talked about the size of Memphis against the speed of the Siege, and that's pretty much how it's been tonight.
Yeah, it's played out exactly as we've said. Playmakers for the Siege, Yates and Davis, have been really good. And then as the quarter went on, they started to go to Elijah Gray a little bit more. He did a really nice job of just finding seams and just chipping away and getting small gains. Early on for the Siege, you saw them just going for the big play a lot and not so much just taking what the defense was giving them. They did a better job of that as the game went on. And then for Memphis, they've been pretty out of sorts consistently on offense, but 2 big plays by McCarry and Johnson to keep them in it, long touchdowns.
Well, Mario Edwards did a nice job with his legs in the first quarter, but he left right before halftime with an injury. So see if you see him back in this game. Holbrook started the game here for the Siege, really kind of out of sorts to start the second quarter. They brought in Caleb Lowe, and he has really excelled and done a nice job at the QB position. Yeah,
a tale of 2 quarters, really. Holbrook struggled a lot in the first quarter. They ended up making the switch. Lowe's done a nice job since he's came in. I would expect we'd see him from here on out.
All right, let's take a look at some of those highlights from this game. There's been 2 touchdowns apiece and a turnover and a run back for an extra point. Here are some of those highlights. Look at the touchdown. We got a catch there by Johnson. He's been busy tonight, but defense again has been a nice job by the Siege. There is the touchdown now, and this one's going to go to Johnson. One of his 2 tonight. He has both touchdowns.
Yeah, 1 of 2 just blown coverages on the outside by the Siege, and here you see Kevin Davis's kickoff return. Dynamic play.
Davis turning and burning, running this one back for 2 points. That actually ends up being the difference in this game with the later touchdown by Elijah Gray. And Siege had the 14-10 lead, but here is, again, best one goes back to the Siege, picking that one off of Varian Cole. Not a whole lot of offense for him tonight, been playing mostly defense. Holbrook back to throw again, picked off, and this is where it kind of went downhill a little bit for Holbrook starting the second quarter. Taylor looking for Johnson again, and again outruns Cole on defense and just really had nice wheels. But Cole really kind of picked up his defense there a little bit in that second quarter.
Yeah, he's had several really good plays out there and then several really bad ones. He's just got to level it out a little bit.
Taylor getting picked off there by Yates. Songa, Yates taking this one off to the races and running that one back. And a nice job by him on that one on the pickoff.
Yeah, he took over defensively once Cunningham got thrown out of the game.
And another, you've talked about it again tonight many times, that Eliza Nixon with the defense.
You see the Elijah Gray touchdown.
And there is Davis, or excuse me, Gray, Elijah Gray, and that's the difference in the game with the little dance. So again, we've seen a lot of changes in this one. We saw Holbrook start, and then you had Caleb Lowe come in for quarterback. We saw some Johnson to Fox now. Saw a little pushing, shoving in this game. A little bit of everything in the first game. Some intensity's high. These are some big-time players.
Yeah, it's been a lot of everything really. As you mentioned, we've seen it all, but it's really going to be interesting. It's important to remember that this is the first league game for both of these teams. In arena football, it's a big learning curve from regular football, which is what most of these people are used to playing, most of the players. The coaches are talking over at halftime how they're going to attack these defenses. They're probably watching a little bit of film, seeing what they can do to exploit the other team defensively, and I think we'll see the offenses pick up a lot in the second half.
But my question is, can any of these players balance a ladder on their chin? I mean, that's moving up the corporate ladder. Can anybody balance a ladder on their chin? I've never seen a guy do that. So
yeah, really impressed by that.
Lots of fun here at the Heartland Event Center in Grand Island. Lots of touchdowns, lots of offense. A couple guys flipping over. By the way, if the guy flips over the wall, you can't keep him. You have to throw him back. You can keep the football, but you can't keep the player. So having some fun. But yeah, for me, what do you think is going to be the key to the second half for the Siege?
Yeah, it's going to be settling in offensively. As I've mentioned all this game, being content to take some of those shorter throws, get themselves into more manageable situations. They had way too many 3rd and longs offensively. They need to clean that up a little bit, but ultimately just finding ways to get the ball in the hands of playmakers. Every time they get the ball to Songy Yates or Kevin Davis or Elijah Gray, they're at least picking up 4 or 5 yards, just finding ways to feature them and then staying solid defensively. Not giving up any big plays. They've done a really nice job of applying pressure, though. The linebackers have really showed out.
For me, for Memphis, the offensive line's got to give KT a little bit more time. Kevin Taylor needs a little bit more time to get rid of that ball. He's rushed some throws, and the Siege defense has been very solid, so they got to find a way to kind of utilize that, keep back in this. When he's gotten the throws off, they've been very successful. Johnson to Fox Let's see who they use in the backfield. Mario Edwards got helped off this field, so let's see who they go to in running back. So a couple questions up right now here for Memphis, but I think they'll be fine in offense if they can give Taylor a little bit more time on the line.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the key. He's been under pressure all day long, and that's one of the main things about arena football. You have to strategize how many guys you want to keep in the box to block and how many you want to send out for routes. For the Siege, they've mostly been sending out 2 guys on routes on most of their combinations and then check downs to Gray. The Hound Dogs are struggling a little bit more to figure out their balance of how many blockers they want to keep in to protect Davis.
Other games going on around the Arena League tonight. You have Eclair at Ozarks. You have Monroe at Iowa. Of course, Memphis here. St. Joe and Arkansas played yesterday on that one. Next week, the Siege will be on the road to Monroe, and Memphis will be home hosting Iowa. So some great games coming up.
Yeah, and it's important to note here, Josh, that the Duluth Harbor Monsters, who won the league in the first 2 years of the Arena League, left to join the AF1. So this is anybody's league this year to win. Whoever wins it's going to be their first time. St. Joe had a lot of success last year, so did the Arkansas Diamonds, then known as the Hot Springs Wise Guys. So really it's going to be interesting. It's anybody's to take. They just got to go out and grab it.
Let's talk about the mascots a little bit. Siege, if people don't know, is a pack of cranes. Cranes is associated with Grand Island, Nebraska. You also have an Army base here, a Reserves Army. So a siege is a military term as well. Name come up with by a local guy. That's where that one comes from. You have the Memphis Hound Dogs, a tribute to Elvis. It looks like an Elvis dog. It's been acknowledged by Graceland. So very cool. I love the mascots in this league. There's a lot of fun ones you've never seen before.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, the mascots, having some of those unique names out there, and then getting the community involved. That's what this league is all about. It was the community pick the name contest that got the Siege their name. So really this league is catered towards the fans, and that's been evident so far and with all of this as well.
There's the Monroe Greenheads, the Ozark Lunkers. You have Iowa Woo, Arkansas Diamonds, of course St. Joe Goats, Eclair Axemen are the other teams as well besides these two in the league. 8 teams in the league, 3 brand new ones as we mentioned. You have the Monroe, of course, and Memphis and Nebraska as the new teams this year in the league. So lots of fun going on here at the Harlan Event Center, and lots of offense as both teams doing a lot of scoring, as we've had pretty much all touchdowns have been all but one I think have been aired out. So you've seen a little bit with the legs, but a lot of throwing here in Arena League football.
Yeah, not much of a run game established. And that's going to be a theme around the Arena League as it goes. Some teams prefer to keep it on the ground a little bit more. I thought maybe we'd see Memphis run the ball a little bit more just because of all the size they have, but it's been such a good job by the linebackers for the Siege with Holmes and Simons and Serda and Nixon. They really haven't been able to establish anything up the middle. It'll be interesting to see if they try to establish that a little bit more as it goes on.
So again, we mentioned there was arena football here years ago. That ran by the Nebraska Danger, part of the IFL, one from 2011, 2019, very successful. But the team just kind of folded, combination of pandemic and not able to find a buyer of the team. And a lot of people disappointed. So when this came about here in Grand Island, Nebraska, a lot of people jumped aboard. A lot of sponsors wanted to make this happen. And just a short season this year for all these teams. I think they did expand with the expansion. They only had a few games last year. So each team will play play 8 official games, 4 on the road, 4 home, with the scrimmage games last week. So kind of a fun football, kind of a quick league over the summer, but those craving football this time of year can come and see arena football.
Yeah, there's so many different leagues for arena football, and it makes it tough because every league has to have something that makes it stand out, makes it more attractive than the other leagues. I mean, there's about 6 leagues that are really competitive with each other right now, and the Arena League, one of the newer ones, trying to establish themselves within this competitive market. And thus far, they've done a nice job of just trying to change things up, really catering things towards fans to make it interesting.
You kind of talked, too, in the pregame a little bit about the Memphis team being a little bit younger than some of the other guys out there for the Nebraska team. Talk about that a little bit more. They got a younger roster there for the reconstruction and the way they're constructed there at Memphis.
Yeah, the Siege only have, I believe, 2 players over the age of 30 on their roster. Jason Serda, older at age 34, so is Caleb Holbrook at 30, but those are the only 2 guys over 30 on their team. In contrast, for the Memphis Hound Dogs, they have a lot of guys who have a lot of experience and are very removed from their prime years. McCarrion Johnson has stats from 2017 in college, and they have several other guys who are over 30, and I believe they even have one 40-year-old on their roster. Yes, number 90, Michael Stackens, 40 years old out there, competing against some of these 25-year-olds. Very impressive for him.
That's fun to see. You know, that guy's got a family to think about. 40 years old. He's probably a lot older than some of these guys. They probably call him Pops. I guarantee they call him Grandpa or something on the team when you're the oldest guy like that. But we went back to the locker room ahead of time. Both teams very cordial. It was nice to meet the players, get some pronunciations, kind of introduce ourselves. So that's fun, too. This is an all-new league for everybody. A lot of these guys trying to prove themselves. We're still figuring out the league. Being here at ground level, too, it's a little bit difficult for us to see, but our production team has done fantastic here tonight. And we've got a 14-12 game with Nebraska leading this one. Gotten that touchdown with just a little less than 2 minutes left to Gray. I really like them using Elijah Gray. You know, you're covering Yates, you're covering Brown out there, and so I really like them going to Gray and using him. See if they utilize him a little bit more. You've got some weapons here on the siege.
Yeah, for sure.
14-12, Nebraska leads as we'll take a break and come back. This is the Arena League football from Grand Island, Nebraska. Memphis going to see if they can come back and answer as we have here at halftime, 14-12, Nebraska Siege leading. Grand Island, Nebraska is where we're at. It's a warm arena, but a good night for football and a good hot field here for football. We'll come back in a little bit.
Hey, this is Matt Rule at the University of Nebraska football team. Just want to congratulate Grand Island on their new professional arena football team, the Siege, the Nebraska Siege. I just love that name. Really, really excited for GM Matt Kayward and head coach Dominic Bramante. They're going to do a great job and just continue to add to the greatest football state there is.
So fun to have the promotion there from Matt Rule. That's a nice thing for him to say. And Dominic Bramante, as we mentioned, has worked with John Harbaugh many times. They're good friends. And so it's a nice connection, but nice of Matt Rule to check it. I'm sure he'll be checking out a game at some point this year.
Yeah, really, really nice of him to check in there. And that's just another potential network that could be interesting to see in the future. Maybe the Siege gets some former Nebraska Cornhuskers playing out here. I remember when Tommy Armstrong was playing for the Nebraska Danger. That was really exciting when I was a kid to watch. But just, yeah, like I said, another opportunity for connections as this league grows and they bring more talent in.
Well, we saw Minnesota week one. Well, it wasn't week one. It was the practice last week, the scrimmage, and that was kind of a team that kind of builds players and distributes them to other teams. And so I saw some of the guys from Minnesota talking to Coach Bramante, and everybody wants to play for this guy.
Yeah.
With his pedigree, he's been coaching, he's just a really good coach.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit before the game with the Kingdom Sports thing going on with Ron Brown. He was there checking that out. I went over to talk to him a little bit. He was very friendly. I introduced myself, and it was very nice, and I could see how all of the players would love to play with him.
Vermonte, just a lot of coaching experience for him. You look at his record and what he's done. He is the first full-blooded Native American head coach in professional football history, which is great for him as well. He previously helped build back-to-back Duke City Gladiator championships from the ground up, leading the franchise in 2018 and 19 with Matt Kayward. And as I mentioned, he's a big Seinfeld fan along with Matt Kayward as well. So always fun to have that little bit of knowledge. And so a lot of people want to play with Vermonte, not only because he's a good coach, because of his connection in the NFL, and Kayward too. When I talked to Kayward before the season started, when they kind of got this team going, he said they want to bring in good football players, but they also want to bring in even better people. So guys who are going to contribute to this community, that's a big thing. Guys who want to work, guys who want to be here, are going to show. Those are the guys going to make the team, and we saw that with the cuts they made from last week.
Yeah, and as Vermonte mentioned in his interview with you, cutting players is not easy, and it's a tough process for them, but ultimately they've got a good roster, and obviously putting in competitive product on the field. But really cool by the Siege just how they've tried to utilize local talent with everything they do. Bringing in us, I know we're grateful for that opportunity, but really trying to get the Grand Island community involved, and that's how you form a lasting partnership that can keep this team going for years.
Well, I've heard good buzz around Grand Island here as we live in this area. People talking about it, loving football. This is a football state. Nebraska's a football, volleyball state as well. But anytime there's football going on in June and the end of May, people are going to be there.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, and I'm sure it's the same way in Memphis too. And love the Hound dog, love the helmets with the blue dog on them. Very cool as well. So as the guys are stretching out here, we're a little ways away from this one getting started. Again, I think the Siege defense needs to keep at it. They've been fantastic on defense. I know they've given up 12 points, but those were just some air-out throws. I think they've gotten into Taylor's head a little bit, messed him up. And again, on the opposite side, for Memphis, that offensive line's got to give KT a little bit more time to throw.
Yeah, the Hound Dogs are 2 big plays away from being down 14-0 right now. Luckily for them, McCarry and Johnson came in clutch with those 2 big shots. But I think that Coach Gilliam is going to do a nice job of making adjustments and finding ways to get receivers open and get KT Taylor, more time back there to pass. And then to the Siege, it's going to be a lot of adjustments too. Really haven't seen much on the offensive side of the ball. One of the touchdowns for the Siege was a kick return. So we've really only seen 1 sustained touchdown drive, and that's it.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can do. They've utilized Johnson. They've defended him a little bit better. Yates has been, but you've been mixing up in the backfield with Gray. And we're going to be set for football here as we go second half. Let's see what happens. If it's anybody's game, and we'll see what happens with – I'm interested to see if Mario Edwards makes his way back out. He was hurt, and they helped him off after he got hit low by Sergio. We did have Fox ejected from the play earlier, so they went back and reviewed the play. Originally, they didn't kick him out. They kicked out 1 player from the Siege, and now I just got told by the official that they did kick Fox out of that game. So that's going to change their approach a little bit.
For sure. He's a key player for them offensively, and it's been an adjustment since the Siege have lost Cunningham. Both of these teams have small rosters, only about 15 players on there, so anytime a player leaves the game, it's a big adjustment, and we're now ready to go. Mosey back to return.
He's got the ball, and he's going to – sorry, the referee.
Just bounced out of bounds.
Thank you. There's a lot of guys standing on the court here, on the field, and I can't see around it.
Yep, it'll be a touchback.
So here comes Caleb back out there again. Which Caleb is it this stage?
Caleb Lowe.
It's going to be Lowe, yes. Guess the Caleb, right? That's what we're going to say.
Yeah. And both these guys, similar players. They have a lot of arena football experience, decorated college careers when they were a little bit younger at smaller colleges. And they're both going to have a chance to get this job, and Lowe ultimately will have the reins going forward.
Caleb Lowe will get the snap. Man in motion. Looks to throw. Has plenty of time to get rid of it. It's a short pass again. They utilize Gray, and he brings it up close to a first down, and it's going to be about 3 yards shy, but a nice play there, a little screen pass.
Yeah, and Josh, I don't know if Gray even touched the ball in the first quarter. They really didn't utilize him at all. Second quarter started using him more, and he's been really successful. You know, he doesn't look like the best athlete out there, but he does a nice job with the ball in his hands.
Talked about all of his accolades in college. This time Yates going way deep. Let's see if he's going to be open. And they throw it down there. No, this time it wasn't Yates. They were airing that one out to Davis, but nice defense by the Hound Dogs.
Yeah, and Davis had a step on him initially, but a really nice job defensively by the Hound Dogs. And in coverage there, that was Rod Farmer, did a nice job of playing the ball and just not looking back and catching up with Davis. And that's how you teach man coverage right there.
Farmer from Emporia State. He might be taking the place of Fox, who did get ejected for that skirmish earlier. So see how the Memphis reacts to this one. Quick shovel pass, and Gray again getting it out about another 7 yards. He's done a nice job, Elijah Gray.
Yeah, they've been utilizing that sweep play where they just toss it to him and then seal the edge. Really nice job blocking by the Siege tight ends with Bohr and Brown on the outside, sealing off the edge, and their outside perimeter blockers as well.
In 20 games played at South Connecticut University for Elijah Gray, he had 401 attempts, 2,124 yards and 15 touchdowns with a 61-yard included. This one goes to Yates, cutting in between traffic, and that's going to be good for first down and some extra cheese there by Yates.
Yeah, Yates just an absolutely dynamic player with the ball in his hands. Him and Davis, they really got to find a way to get them the ball more, as he just took that sweep and cut it completely back and started running the other way. He had a seam, and he almost took that one to the house.
I like the block by Vince Brown as well to set that up. He gave him an extra couple yards.
Yeah, it's a really nice job by these tight ends in this game. They've really carried this run blocking.
Yates gets it back to about the line of scrimmage. Not much doing there. That play just kind of screwed up from the beginning there. So we'll see what the Siege can do here. Second down. 14-12, Siege with the lead. Got that touchdown by Gray with a little less than 2 minutes before half.
Siege here just need to pick up one more first down, and then they get to Vince Brown zone.
Shoved off to Gray. Wasn't the best pass. He gets out past the line of scrimmage. Out to about the 21, and he is hurt a little bit as he gets out, but he is. So there's padding on the wall. The padding, Luke, is about 6 inches thick, and behind that's a plastic wall, almost like a hockey field. A hockey court, should say so. He's fine.
Early on they utilized the toss and the sweep a lot with Yates and Gray. Early success with it. Nice job by Memphis adjusting to it. We'll see how they change it up here.
This time going for wide receivers, nobody back. Low, all kinds of time to air it out. He does. Yates brings it down and shags his defender. He's in for the touchdown. The Siege doing the dance, feeling the flow in the end zone.
Yeah, nice play there by Songi Yates. And it was really good route concept there by the Siege. They used all three receivers out there in a trips formation and then just set up natural picks against the man coverage, and it got Yates free. They find him in that good balance, bouncing off the wall, staying on his feet, and completing the play for a touchdown.
Interesting matchup between him and Rod Farmer there. Farmer just kind of new in the game, didn't really see him much in the first half, kind of maybe took over for Fox that got ejected, and Yates says, here's what I can do. You got to defend me a little bit tighter.
Yeah, Yates an absolute game changer. He's been the MVP to me in this one, playing both sides of the ball. He's done just a phenomenal job.
So they're going to go for the extra point here. Caleb Lowe sends it to, looks like he's going to Yates, and he's going to get it. Originally, Vince Brown had a hand on it, but Yates got it in for the extra point.
Yeah, great focus. I thought he was throwing it to Vince Brown there, but ultimately got it through and found Yates in the back of the end zone, and that's the first completed 2-point we've seen.
21-12 right now. Nebraska Siege firing on all cylinders coming out to start the third quarter. Let's see what Memphis will do to battle back here. Got some work to do. Down by a little bit.
Now, interesting on Yates now, he has scored 4 points on his own. Well, one of them was a defensive pick two, I guess, picking off the 2-point play and running it back, and then that one getting it himself. And in arena football, you can either go for 1 from the 5-yard line or 2 from the 10-yard line. So I don't know, did they get 1 point for that one?
Yeah, they got 1, yep.
Yes, they went for the 1.
So Yates back to throw it off as well, which he has all night. He's done a nice job on the throw-offs. There are no kicking in this league if you're new to it.
Yeah, he's been their do-everything guy. He has really came through for them when they needed a guy.
I'm wide open. Let's see if he throws it to me over here. We're on the west end zone. Yates waiting for the sign. He's ready to go. Back to receive here. And, it is really close to me. He almost hurt me there. That's Willis taking it himself, getting out to about the 5-yard line and doing the dance there. Zavarian Cole says, I don't think so, Willis.
Yeah, that's 2 tackles from Cole on these kickoffs. He's done a nice job, and we haven't seen any missed tackles from the Siege. They've been very sound fundamentally. tackling. I was just teaching kids how to tackle before the game in the Kingdom Sports event with Ron Brown.
Well, there you go.
These guys are a little bit better than those kids were, I must say.
They need to listen to Ron Brown. He knows his football. So does Luke McCart, right?
Absolutely.
And you're a lot bigger than them. Kevin Taylor looking for a little bit more time to get rid of the ball. This time hands off, and they're using the running back this time up the middle. And that one's going to be tackled.
That big play, first time he's touched the ball, and he made a big play up the middle there. The first successful run play we've seen that wasn't a sweep or a toss. I was just praising the Siege tackling, but that time, not so good.
Again, handoff and nothing doing. Siege on the tackle. Nice job by Keyshawn Cunningham to get in there and make a tackle.
Yeah, Cunningham didn't see him much in the second quarter there, but he ends up coming back in and making a sound tackle there, coming around the ankles with an ankle sweep tackle.
So Taylor back to throw again here, looks like. Kevin Taylor does have a receiver on the far side. That is Johnson. Let's see if they go to him. He rolls right. He falls down. That'll be a loss of yards. And again, getting in there and making the tackle is going to be your boy.
Yeah, and it's a precarious situation here for quarterbacks when they roll outside of the pocket, because in arena football, the quarterback can only run the ball in between the hashes. So when they roll out like that, they can't scramble. They have to throw it, or in that case, just go down like he did for a big loss.
The man in motion. It is 3rd down and 17. Taylor not getting what he asked for, what I thought he would need, more time. Takes it himself up the lane. Gets about to the line of scrimmage maybe a little bit, but nothing doing. It's going to be 4th and 17.
Yeah, nice tackle by Jaleel Holmes. I've been praising these linebackers all day, but they've really been the best players on this Siege defense. Really shutting down everything, making big plays, whether it's sacks, plays in the run game, plays in the pass game. They've been all over it, all over the field.
So we'll see what they can do here at 4th down, if they're going to go for it or they're going to take a timeout. Looks like they're taking a quick timeout. We'll keep it right here.
I believe they're surrendering here. So in arena football, since there's no punting, if you don't want to go for it on 4th down, you surrender, then the other team gets the ball at the 15-yard line going out. So that's what's happening in this situation. We've seen it a couple times.
That's where they'll take it. Caleb Lowe's done an outstanding job taking over for Caleb Holbrook in the second quarter. Here he is in the 3rd quarter. 21-12. Siege trying to add to that lead. Memphis trying to play some defense. Not that time. Goes out to Vince Brown. And there's going to be a nice one for the touch for the tight end, and very close to a 1st down.
Yeah, and we finally see Vince Brown getting his first reception of the game. It was just a quick roll by Caleb Lowe, and then slipping out instead of blocking. He's been staying in to block a lot, but that time just slips out. Easy completion, pitch and catch for Lowe.
So it was a 1st down. Lowe, plenty of time to throw. Just as that one off to Mosey. He moseys along the left side, shags a defender, and in for the touchdown right in front of us. I'm looking at the screen, and here comes Mosey at me.
Yeah, just a little spot screen on the outside. You had X blocking from the receivers. Really great stock blocking by those two guys. Mosey does a great job of reading those blocks. And at my high school when I played, Coach Jensen called that butt butter. Coming and cutting through like a knife, coming through and reading your blocks, coming off their butts and scoring.
Keon Mosey did a nice job there, and that play was right in front of us. We got a little bit of wind when he blew by, which there's not much wind going on in here right now. Gonna go for the extra one. Lowe has all kinds of time. He can make a sandwich back there. Has nobody to throw to, though. Decides to shovel it off this time. Does give that one over to Vince Brown, who dodges in and gets in. High stepping for Vince Brown. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to work.
There's a flag on the field.
This is probably gonna go against the Siege. We'll see what happens. That play was very slow to develop, so.
Yeah, Lowe had no pressure on him. He was back there for like at least 10 seconds.
Nope, it's gonna be declined. That was against the Memphis Hound Dogs, and so it is now 28-12. It has been all Siege here in the 3rd quarter as they lead this one against Memphis, and Hound Dogs look like maybe just a little tired or something. They're kind of off kilter coming out here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the Siege have really came out and just punched Memphis in the mouth, and they have not responded. We'll see what the Hound Dogs offense can do to answer.
So we'll see. It's going to be back to receive here. Is going to be Willis. Jelani Willis, Tennessee State, also gone to Western Michigan. And thrown off. Again, Yates. Yates has done a nice job with that. And comes over here by us. He does pick it up and run. We might get a guy in our lap.
That's going to be a safety, Josh.
Safety there by Cunningham. Getting in and getting him in the end zone. And more things going the Siege's way. Nice job getting down there by Cunningham.
Yeah, and there you see it again, the second time that Willis has tried to field the ball off the wall and come out with it. That time he paid the price with the Siege flying down the field and making the play in the end zone for the safety.
Well, we're trying to figure out who 25 is for Memphis, and nobody knows. So again, Siege defense has been outstanding, and Memphis really hasn't gotten any kind of groove going here. So we'll see what we can do.
And I'll give some credit to Songi Yates on the throw-offs. I don't know if it's intentional where he's trying to get these bounce situations off the wall, because the ball is live off the walls. So I don't know if he's doing this intentionally, but that's the second time that's happened, and then that time much more successful, as the Siege will have a chance to take back over on offense.
Kevin Taylor out there. Let's see, looks like he's gonna throw it off using the quarterback this time. So interesting.
Yeah, thus far this game has followed very similar plot to the game last night between St. Joe's and Arkansas, where it was pretty even early in the game, and then second half, St. Joe really took over. This time it's the Siege taking over against the Hound Dogs.
Back received there by Davis. Cutting up. Kevin Davis up the middle. Nice run for him. Gets out to about the 25-yard line. A good reception there by Davis.
And if you're a Hound Dogs fan, every time you see Davis or Yates touch the ball, you're holding your breath, because they are just a big play waiting to happen. Second time on a kickoff there where he's had a successful return, and you're really just waiting to see him hit the ground, because he is dynamic with the ball in his hands.
Kevin Davis, hometown Jackson, Tennessee, rushed for 1,127 yards, 809 receptions at the University of Miami of Ohio in his career there.
The Red Hawks, same college as Keon Mosey. They played together in the same running backs room.
Caleb Lowe back out there. Mosey in motion. They do hand off to Gray. Elijah cuts up to the 27, about to the 20, to the 23 as the turf comes up a little bit.
Once again, good blocking on the edge by those tight ends with Bohr, as Bohr's a little shaken up on the play, and then also the stock blocking on the edge with Keon Mosey, and good to see Bohr get up.
Gray lost a shoe, so he's coming out momentarily. This is temporary turf as well, so sometimes the carpet does come up a little bit and they have to bring some tape out. Might have tripped a little bit, but he did lose a shoe.
And here you have players of the Siege who have clear primary positions, like Yates playing receiver, but then he can step in defensively, as we know. And then here you see another guy coming in. I believe it's Jaleel Holmes taking the place of Connor Bohr. All these guys have to be cross-trained because the roster is so small. They have to be able to play both sides of the ball, because if guys get hurt, somebody has to step up. In this case, Jaleel Holmes coming in at tight end.
So Mosey the back man. Caleb Lowe, quarterback, does sweep it. Cuts it up, and nothing doing there. And a nice tackle. Mosey not get anything. And a good tackle for Memphis from number 6, Tajirian Friesen.
And that time, the blocking not quite as good inside, but I still want to shout out the stock blocking on the outside, but some of these small receivers, it's not an easy task sealing the edge, but they've done a really good job as we have a false start here.
Luke, I'm going to do a quick shout out here. We have Braden, who's serving his country here in the United States, listening from Germany. Braden Kennedy, shout out to you, buddy. Watching it over there in Germany. Pretty cool to have him.
Thank you for your service.
No kidding. That's kind of what the Siege is all about. Matthew Kayward, a first responder. Another penalty against Memphis.
So that maybe you saw a false start on the vertical motion, but ultimately it was the snap count that got the defense there, and that was Tajirian Friesen there, just jumping over.
So let's see what they do here. They send out Yates wide. This time a different guy covering him. It's Lee this time on him. They dish off to Mosey, and we're going to have a quick flag. This one might be offsides.
This could be the same thing.
Yeah. Willis got in there kind of quick this time. Let's see if this one does go against Memphis. He got in there really fast. talk this over. No, they thought it was going to make a call, but now they make sure they got the right number. 30-12. It's been all Siege here in the second half. 4:11 left in this half. Ooh. So interesting. So you got to have 3 guys on the line of scrimmage, and Siege only had 2. So that's why he got in there so fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of particular rules with how you have to line up in arena football. That's one of them. In 11-man, you have to have 7 guys on the line. Arena 3, but just not quite on the same page there.
So 3rd and 7 right now. Ball at about the 26-yard line. It's going to be 23-yard line. We'll take it from there. It's hard to see from the ground level. And now we're going to have a timeout called by Matt Kayward as the time clock was wearing down. Game clock. They're going to toss some things over. So if you're Coach Kayward, what are you telling your guys? I think this goes go back to the previous penalty. Just say, hey guys, this is fundamental football. Come on.
Yeah, I think this is trying to get everybody on the same page. I think a little bit of confusion with Jaleel Holmes having come in at tight end in place of Connor Bohr. Maybe that's part of the confusion just with the personnel change. This is, as I mentioned, it's a lot different than real football, and there's a lot of pre-snap things that if you don't have it right, it's going to result in penalties like we've seen. I think this is just trying to get everybody reset, get a good play call in, and make sure that Lowe has his reads down and knows where he's looking to go with the football on this crucial down.
Caleb Lee has done an outstanding job under quarterback here for the Siege. Didn't start the game, but took over most of the way through, and now it's going to be 3rd down again. Here we go. Siege have it on the 23-yard line. Lowe back to throw. Airs it out, and he's got Yates just overthrows him. Nice coverage again by Lee.
Yeah, once again, you had trips to the left side of the offense there, and just utilized that 3 vertical pattern, trying to beat the man coverage, and it really worked, honestly. Yates was open, but Lowe just couldn't quite connect on the pass.
And Yates not a very tall guy. Maybe 6'3", could have ground that one, brought it down, but Yates is a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'8", 160.
So he's shorter than me, okay.
Not very big, yeah. All of those receivers out there are not very big, but they're dynamic. 4th
and 7 for Nebraska. And this might be offsides. It's getting a little too far over the line there was Kevin Davis. I think this is going against Nebraska. You can have a man in motion, but I think he was a little too fast on the line. Yep.
Yeah, snap count really important. And honestly, I have no idea how these quarterbacks are able to get the ball off in time every time. But that was close, just barely got it. And this might be a surrender situation now going back again.
Yeah, you're up by, 18, so you could just surrender it. And it does look like maybe that's, no, Lowe still out there. Lining up heavy on the right side, so let's see what they go. Trips to the right side. Yates in motion this time. See if he does air it out. He's going to go right in front of us and overthrown completely. Mosey the closest one, but that was still 10 yards overthrown.
Yeah, didn't really have anybody on that one.
Thought maybe this one to you, Luke. You've got a couple touchdowns this year in high school football.
Yeah, plus for sure. Now we've seen how quickly these things can turn. So a comfortable lead right now for the Siege, but we saw how fast they came out here and took the lead against Memphis in the second half and really broke this open. Memphis could turn around and do the same thing. They have not been on offense in a long time after a touchdown drive and a safety. So they're out of rhythm for sure. It'll be interesting to see how they settle in.
Kevin Taylor's got some different personnel out there. Let's see who he goes to this time. And he might have a delay of game if he doesn't get this snapped off quickly. 8 seconds. Man in motion this time. They're sending Hamilton to the right side. Tossed over the middle, just kind of tossed up for anybody. And is that going to be a catch? Incomplete. Looked like, nope, I thought maybe Johnson got there. But they really haven't utilized Johnson, and that's heads up to the Siege, too. They're protecting him since those 2 touchdowns. He's been virtually
yeah, that's a great adjustment there. And I'm surprised that Memphis hasn't gone to Cormonte Hamilton more. He was a defensive lineman in college, but he was initially recruited as a tight end by Ohio State. Transferred to Memphis, played D-line there.
The handoff again. We apologize. Nobody has a name for 25, so.
Yeah,
play was dead.
Are off, but he's done a nice job since coming in. I wish I could shout him out by name, but
I've texted 6 people and nobody knows who 25 is. Again, it's the first time here. Things are going to happen like that. So, meanwhile, third down, Siege defense causing some problems here. Taylor back to throw, looking to air it out to Johnson. Does he get there? No. Two guys on defense.
A really great coverage out there by.
Yeah, you had McCall. Yeah, McCall on the defense on that one. Doing a nice job. Barry and Cole as well. Taylor not able to get anything. So this time he did have the time to throw the ball, just couldn't complete it.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a play action type of thing there with Hamilton coming in motion, and it looked like a trap block up the middle, but then ultimately airing it out. But a nice job by the Siege DB squeezing that towards the sideline and really eliminating any catch radius that was possible.
So third down here for the Hound Dogs, and taking off, dodging one defender, dodging two, just running it himself. And so he can do that. Normally he takes off, if he has to take off running, he has to go up the lane, but this time since they rushed in, he could take off around the right side.
I think they might actually get him for a flag on running outside
maybe
the run lane.
Maybe that is it. I thought it was legal, but maybe not.
I think maybe they'll get a penalty for him running outside the run lane. I don't think that was legal. But interesting, you saw an absolute bull rush from Isaiah Nixon on that play. Tossed his defender on the ground, and then I'm not sure what the discussion is about, but
yeah, it looks like the Siege's coaches are pretty upset, so this may go against Nebraska. Let's see what happens here.
Quarterback run violation on the offense. That penalty is declined. Be first down, Nebraska from the end of the lane.
You called it, so yeah, it was. He ran outside the lane.
Yeah, so
there's a dotted line.
It was pretty close with the hashes. The quarterback can only run if he crosses the line of scrimmage in between the hashes. That time he crossed outside of the hashes, but the penalty was declined because it was fourth down, and the Siege now will take over.
So got a little work to do, but I appreciate them taking it there. Ball going to be on the 20-yard line. It is Nebraska ball, leading 30-12. Got 22 seconds left on the third quarter here. Josh Sam and Luke McCarg with you on the broadcast. The Arena League football here from Grand Island, Nebraska. Back to throw is low, and up the middle. Can't quite hold on to it there. Hitting the slip and slide is Davis, and that's going to be incomplete pass.
You've seen the Siege use this overloaded formation a lot more, where they're putting three receivers off to the left or to the right, and then in this case to their right, and then they've run a lot of switch verticals out of that, but that time they just tried to get a quick slant disguise to Davis, but just the timing a little bit off. It has to be perfect.
So Nebraska leads 30-12 as we'll take a break here. Fourth quarter action coming back. Let's see what the Hound Dogs can get going here in the fourth quarter. Start hounding if you're in Memphis. Hound! And Siege coming back with the lead, 30-12. This is Arena League football. Welcome back to Harlan Event Center, Grand Island, Nebraska, as Nebraska Siege leading over Memphis. Hound Dogs 30-12, start fourth quarter. Josh Salmon, Luke McCarg with you here. And very warm inside here at Harlan Event Center. I think they had some air conditioning problems, we were told, but it's okay. It's been a fun football game for everybody. Ball in the 20-yard line here for the Siege. Caleb Lowe gets it, quick pass. Gives that one over to Davis. Cuts around the left side, past one defender, and a couple Hound Dogs will bring him down to the ground, but not before getting a couple extra yards. Kevin Davis.
And I can't stress enough how good the stock blocking on the outside has been by the Siege wide receivers. It's not an easy task. It's a lot harder than it looks as a receiver blocking in space, because as a lineman, the guy's right in front of you. All you got to do is step, get your hands on him, and don't let go. But blocking in space, you have to break down, mirror the defender, and they're doing a nice job on those screen passes as we have another one here.
Have a flag on the play. This one might go against Nebraska as it goes to Mosey. Back to Kevin Davis, University of Miami. As a receiving during his college career, he had 91 receptions for 809 yards and 5 touchdowns. So did a nice job at that, but used as a running back also. So 5 yards here against Nebraska. We saw that one right away.
Yeah, Mosey and Davis played together at Miami of Ohio. They were a very good running back duo for the Red Hawks. And Kevin Davis, I believe, was MVP of the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Nice.
Interesting fact.
That's a fun fact. Willis almost got a hand on that pass from Lowe. So 5 yards farther back. So sitting on about the 12-yard line. Lowe back to throw, looking for Yates. All 5'8" of him jumping up. Not able to bring that one down, and there's a souvenir. Hey, and a little maintenance there by Yates, too, to help fix the wall. Well, he threw that one again too high. 5'8" Yates. You got to bring that one down a little bit. I know you don't want to get picked off, but he's got some crazy good ups. I'd like to see what his vertical jump is. Yeah,
it's impressive. And the career he had at Lenore Ryan, also very impressive. As we've mentioned several times, 2,000 receiving yards, 18 touchdowns.
Hails from Charlotte, North Carolina. Around the right side, and not able to get in. Ball was carried there by Elijah Gray.
And also important to note, I don't think Elijah Gray was slated to be the starter at running back initially. Devon Starling from Northern Arizona University, not active in this one. He had some big-time plays in the scrimmage as well.
Gray does line up as a receiver. They send trips to the right side with man in motion. Lowe looking to throw. All kinds of time. Offensive line has done outstanding again. This time he's got Davis open. Who's he give it to? Gives it to Brown up to the 5, brought down to the 3. And
okay, that's a very interesting play, Josh, because that's not something you could have in regular football. Brown was initially blocking. In regular football, you have more ineligible receivers. In Arena, the only player that is ineligible to catch a pass is the center. So Brown was pass blocking, but ultimately he was able to slip out and they could dump it off to him. A nice heads-up play by Brown, recognizing what he wasn't able to do in the situation.
Yeah, getting open. He realized there was nobody else to go. He got open. Vince Brown just was, well, guess who his coach was last year? Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
pretty cool. There's some interesting connections here with these guys, as we mentioned. So second down and goal, the first ever game for both of these teams, Memphis Hound Dogs and Nebraska Siege and the Arena League. 3 new teams this year, lots of games going on all over the country. Had a game yesterday, and then 3 other games going on tonight. So, yeah, fun stuff.
Be interesting to see this strategy that the Siege employs here. One option is to go to Brown. They've tried that a lot in the red zone. They've not been successful in it, just trying to throw it up that 6'6" frame, let him come down with something. But I would suspect they go back to Gray in at least some capacity. He's done a really good job, always picking up something, getting positive yards, as they don't have far to go to punch this one in.
Yeah, a lot of weapons. Yates is lining up on the right side. You have Davis on the left side. Bohr and Brown as your tight ends with Lowe as the quarterback. Fake handoff to Davis, throws over the middle, gives that one in to Brown, and he is going to be in. That's a Siege touchdown. Right there, nice job. You talked about it, getting the ball to Vince Brown, and the tight end gets his first TD as a Siege.
Yeah, really.
Actually, second, I take
really
that back.
Cool play design as they fake the counter with pulling action from Gray and the man in motion. Deception, and then just slipping out Brown, nobody noticing because of all of the pre-snap eye candy with guys coming across. But just good play design by Coach Brockmonte.
And I correct myself. He had the first touchdown of the game, Brown. That's his second of his career with Nebraska. Let's see if they go for the extra point. Who do you go to on this one? I say you go to Yates. He's man in motion. Back to throw, and he does.
Wow.
Go to Davis this time for the extra point, and that makes it 37-12.
What a route by Davis there, just running a simple whip route, faked in, and then went out. That's a classic man beater. Everybody runs it, but just good execution by Davis on it, beating his man mano-a-mano.
It's been all Nebraska here in the fourth quarter, pretty much the whole second half, Luke. As you know, it was 14-12 at the half, but Siege have come out, and I think that Hound Dogs perhaps just a little tired, breathing kind of heavy out there, not able to execute the way they want to. And Coach Primanti giving a thumbs up to his guys right now for Nebraska.
Yeah, and he's really done a nice job making those second half adjustments, as I mentioned. I can't stress enough how tough it is to adjust here to arena football. And I think it was just a hard time for the Siege early on, figuring out the pace of play, how everything was, and they really settled in the second half. And they've really been spreading the love around. 5 different Siege players have caught touchdown passes. Yates, Davis, Mosey, Brown, and Gray all have put one into the end zone. Not one player has more than 1 touchdown.
That's going to be hard to defend. You know, I mean, you mix it up so much when the team next week watches the film from this week, they're going to be like, well, who are they going to go with, you know? And they've done a nice job defending Johnson. We haven't said Johnson's name for the Hound Dogs since the first quarter.
Yeah, Avarian Cole done a really nice job in coverage after those first 2 blown coverages. And really, the Siege have been dominating time of possession too. The Hound Dogs just have not had the ball in the second half, honestly.
So Yates throws that one, gets down to about the 5-yard line. He goes out of bounds. So Hound Dogs desperate need of some offense. They're running out of time here in the fourth quarter, down 37-12. Josh Salmon and Luke McCard with you from the Harlan Event Center, Grand Island, Nebraska. If you're listening in Memphis, look up Grand Island, Nebraska. It's pretty much the center of the state. I mean, almost right in the middle of the center of Nebraska. It's about an hour and a half from Lincoln.
Yeah,
west.
you have 2 drastically different towns that these teams are from. Memphis, obviously big city, has professional football. Grand Island, this is about as big as it gets. As we mentioned several times, Danger used to play here, but really fun to have professional football here in Grand Island, bring people in from the Midwest.
About 58,000 people live in Grand Island, Nebraska. Those commute in. Here is Kevin Taylor trying to get some kind of offense going here for the Hound Dogs, who've been rolling over on the second half here. A nice pass. That one gives out to Hamilton, and he gets down there. You talked about the way they're using him. The size of that guy, he should be on the line, but he does a nice job catching the ball and moving downfield. That's
Yeah,
a first
and
down.
a touchdown-saving tackle there by Jahad McCall. But I mentioned Cormonte Hamilton. He has the most established pedigree out of anybody here. At Memphis, he had 92 career tackles and 9 sacks in 4 seasons, and was initially recruited by Ohio State, played 1 year there before transferring, but he did play tight end at Ohio State before moving to the D-line at Memphis.
And he's 6'3", 265, so he's not built like a tight end necessarily.
No, he is massive, and I thought he would be one of the most featured players in this offense, but they really have not gone to him as much as I would have thought. And they went to him again there on the slant route, but nobody open there, and lucky it wasn't intercepted, to be honest.
So going to be second down here for the Hound Dogs. It's been all Nebraska here in the second half. Taylor looking to get something going. Takes it himself, quarterback keeper up the lane, and does get out for about 5 or 6 yards, out to about the 24-yard line. Nice job there by Kevin Taylor to read the defense.
Yeah, really solid defense by Simons and Bohr in there on the tackle as well. Really sound tackling from the Siege on these bigger players. We've mentioned several times the speed versus the size in this game. And so far, fundamental tackling has neutralized the size advantage by the Hound Dogs. So
now third down and up the middle, and a nice catch there. That one is Macari and Johnson, and I like them going back to him. They haven't utilized him since the first quarter, and that should be a first down here for Memphis. Yeah, great catch by Macari and Johnson, and good throw by Taylor as well, just sticking it in there, sticking it onto his breastplate, and then just hanging it onto him with 2 defenders trying to jar that ball out. Hound Dogs trying to get this one in here, get the extra treat, if they will. Airs it out over by us and out of bounds. That one again attended for Hamilton. Ooh, it did come up here. Yeah, going back for it again, and It
Ball
just
right
came to
around
a guy to my left.
Yeah, fade ball right to the pylon over here. Imaginary pylon.
You could have caught that one almost. It was a little high.
Yeah, I'm ready for somebody to come over here to this table. I mean, I don't know if how my computer will hold up, but I'm ready to absorb that contact.
So again, we talk about the Siege and what they've done here. You said 5 different guys have scored touchdowns. They really utilized what they've done here. You mix up a lot of tools. You're getting a lot of different guys in, giving some play time. But for me, it comes back to Caleb Brown, take that back. Caleb Lowe, the quarterback, coming in for Holbrook, and just has really excelled in taking this team to the next level.
Yeah, night and day. Lowe has, I mean, Holbrook has done nice things in his career, but Lowe was on today, and he has been on today, and really has done a nice job compared to Holbrook. And I'd like to see what his completion percentage is at the end of this game, looking into these stats, because it's got to be high. He's done a nice job of taking checkdowns when he has to, and he's just calm in the pocket. That's what's really set him apart from the other two quarterbacks who have played in this game. Both of the other two a little bit panicked in the pocket, trying to find guys and more worried about what's going on directly in front of them instead of the big scheme of things with receivers and outlet options.
Second down here, threatening are the Hound Dogs in the 15-yard line, looking to throw it out again. Right in front of us, it's up for grabs, and into the stands. Oh, almost picked off, intended again for Cormonte Hamilton.
And I think we're gonna have PI here on Cunningham, but I thought good coverage by Cunningham, honestly. Giving up a lot of size to Hamilton, got his hand in there, but it was a physical play. The officials are gonna talk it over, but it seemed pretty clean to me.
Yeah, so Cunningham will have to see what they called this one. It was right in front of us. He did have a hand on the ball, but I didn't necessarily see the pass interference. Oh, they did call it.
Cunningham, really the first mistake from him. He didn't play as much in the first half as he has in the second half. Definitely a ball hawk. He had 8 interceptions in his college career. He had 6 of them in one season at D3 Heidelberg. Jihad McCall, another guy who's a ball hawk, had 9 interceptions and 26 passes defense at the FCS level in his career at Eastern Illinois and Morehead State.
So Memphis needs to take this lemon to make lemonades. Gets the gift. Is on the 10-yard line, looking to pass. And going to throw it out. This one aired out.
Illegal formation. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down. 2-minute warning. Please welcome back your Nebraska Bombshells. Brought to you by Concrete Construction. All right, Siege fans, let's make this 2 minutes really count. Intimidating.